him. Otherwise, Spencer might have had a real nice return. He's done a pretty good job, averaging 22.5 yards a return for the Steelers.
All right, we'll check these starting lineups for you here. We noticed that Jim Stuckey starting for Lawrence Pillars at defensive left tackle in the three-man front of the 49ers. Handoff Ehrenberg, and Ehrenberg is met at the 25-yard line by a host of 49ers, and among them Dan Bunz, the linebacker. Up front, Stuckey, who was in on that play, a 5-year veteran from Clemson. Manu Tuiasosopo, and his 6th year from UCLA, formerly at Seattle. Dwayne Board, a former Steeler, 5-year veteran, North Carolina A&T. Bunz, Ellison, Hacksaw Reynolds, Keena Turner, the linebackers. Eric Wright and Ronnie Lott on the corners. Carlton Williamson, Dwight Hicks are the safeties. Steelers split their backs on 2nd down and 7 at their own 25-yard line, and the handoff is taken by Frankie Pollard off the left side of the 30 to 35. He drives all the way to the 39-yard line. Frank Pollard found the opening. Frank Pollard picked up the yardage and was finally brought down by Carlton Williamson. It's a first down, Myron.
And doggone it, a nice block by Terry Long, the guard, pulling out, running to his left and making the room for Pollard. Frankie Pollard, a nice gain out to the 38-yard line. Make it the 39.
Sun shining brightly here in San Francisco. Stallworth set out to the left as the split end. Here is Mark Malone firing and hitting Stahl as he hooks at the 47-yard line. Came up and curled in right in front of the defender, took that pass, and then was knocked down on the play by Eric Wright. We'll mark it at the 47-yard line.
And again, Mark Malone making his first start since 1981 when he started the last 2 games of the season. To refresh your memory, Terry Bradshaw had been eliminated in a Monday night game at Oakland with an injury, and Cliff Stott that year had met up with the punching bag and broken his arm.
Abercrombie is in. Ball is given to Pollard. Pollard breaks the tackle behind the line of scrimmage, comes to the left, makes a cut back to the right up over the 50, and goes to the 49ers' 48-yard line before he is toppled. Pollard running beautifully that time, appeared to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Now Pollard is shaken up on the play, and the defensive player is shaken up, so we've got a timeout down on the field for attention. Here's Pollard getting up to his feet, but the trainers for San Francisco, and I'm trying to see who is missing out there. That could be Manu Tuiasosopo. That is him. He's up on his feet. And we have a first down for the Steelers.
Tuiasosopo replaced Pete Kugler, who had been a heck of a nose tackle for the 49ers, but jumped to the Philadelphia Stars of the USFL. Manu has done a good job in there, though he's not a real big nose tackle.
Louis Kelcher, the big 10-year veteran, now on the nose. Here is Malone rolling to the right. Malone looking and firing hard to the San Francisco 42 to Stallworth. Takes it, tries to get away, but is brought down at the 40-yard line. John Stallworth hooking again, taking that pass, and then trying to get away. Jack Reynolds made the tackle on him at the San Francisco 40, and it's a gain of 7 yards on the play.
Well, as you said, Stahl was hooking, but you don't too often see Stahl run a pattern as short as that. He almost got away, gave it a little whirling dervish routine, but was nailed.
Ronnie Lott is set out to the far side. Eric Wright on the near side. They pull a safety up tight, and the Steelers hand it off, and here is a fine effort by Elton Beals that is turned back. Got to about the 38-yard line, possibly. They're going to say the 39-yard line, and then he is rolled back on a gigantic gang effort by the 49ers, 3rd and 2.
He broke the tackle by the linebacker, Ricky Ellison, else he might have lost yardage. Here is an amazing fact, Jack. The 49ers have 10 linebackers on their roster, on their active roster, 10 linebackers.
And Bunz comes out. Milt McCall, 4-year veteran from Stanford, is in there as a linebacker. They put 7 men up front. Steelers in a tight formation. Wing right, man in motion to the left was Pollard, and they handed off to Ehrenberg. Ehrenberg had the hole, got in there, but was thrown back. They're going to give him the 37-yard line, and that should be a first down.
I don't know.
Well, maybe not. I looked down at the sideline. It might be inches short.
Yeah, he's got to go to the 38 clean to make it, but the nose of the ball is practically at the 38. They'll measure this one.
No, the 37.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's going to be very tight. It's going to be an inches situation. Either made it by inches or missed it by inches. And the sticks are extended. Oh, it's tight. First down Pittsburgh. Number 3 for the Steelers.
So the Steelers have marched from their own 22 down to the 36-yard line, make it the 37-yard line of the 49ers. Thrown only 2 passes, both of them completed by Malone. Their intent clearly is to run that football against the 49ers.
Myron, I think that we got the advantage on the placement of the ball that time.
Well, could be.
For those who say I am always so partial to Pittsburgh.
Gold star for your forehead, Fleming. Fleming?
Got a good foot on the ball. Here's Abercrombie sweeping right, turning the corner, 35, diving to the 30, and passes it to the 29 to the 28-yard line on the far side of the field, and the tackle over there executed by Jack Reynolds. He's everywhere. Reynolds, a 15-year veteran from Tennessee. We've told the story before. It is now a legend how in college he took an old car without an engine in it. He got so ticked off one day Tennessee lost a game, and he started sawing. He sawed for 8 hours and sawed the car in 2.
Hey, Malone, yeah, that's a true story.
Used 15 blades.
19 blades. Get it right.
I'll bet you 15. I read it in the book. Split backs. Here's Malone with a play fake back. Looking. Now coming to the near side. Stallworth over his head. And he threw that one away, I believe. Purposely, because he let it fly. He did not see what he wanted, and Stallworth was being blanketed. There was an excellent defensive job being done on him down there by Eric Wright, I believe.
Well, on 2nd and 1, why not go for the big 6? And that's what Malone attempted. So now he's facing 3rd and 1, and the Steelers have moved well on the ground. So presumably they'll attack for that first down.
They set Chris Kolodziejski up as the wingback to the right side using 2 tight ends. Running backs are close, tucked in behind the quarterback. Here comes the wing in motion. Handoff, and the drive straight forward by Frank Pollard should have it. Fights his way, they say, to the 25.5-yard line, and that is a first down, number 4 in this drive. And the Steelers took the ball on the opening kickoff, and they have been possessing it very well. I'm trying to spot a clock here. 9:53.
9:53 and ticking. So the Steelers using up a lot of that clock, which isn't a bad idea, too, when you're facing a team such as San Francisco that has such a potent offense. But you got to get points on the board.
All right, here they come now, sending Ehrenberg wide to the right. They have Stallworth to the left. 2 men set to the left and a single running back. Pittsburgh showing a little different defensive look. And Malone pumping and then firing and completing it down to the 5. It is pulled in by Ouija Thompson, and Thompson goes to the 2-yard line. Now that had to be a masterful job by Malone as he gave them the wrong direction and then turned and fired. The tackle is made downfield by Jim Fawnhorst, and Ouija Thompson, the rookie from Florida State, goes to the 2-yard line on the reception. First down, number 5. That is the 4th pass, 3 completed.
And a pickup of 24 yards on the play. Yes, that was great pump faking by Malone. He looks slick out there. He's now 3 for 4.
Ouija gets his 10th catch of his rookie season. Steelers, tight power formation at the 49ers 2-yard line. Malone handing it off to Ehrenberg. Ehrenberg diving over the right side. Takes it down to the goal line. Touchdown. It is in for a touchdown. Now, this is a team that had not allowed a touchdown in 12 straight quarters until the Giants got one near the end of the game on Monday night, and that was all substitutes playing. The Steelers come out in the opening period of this ball game and put one on the board, and that was Ehrenberg going over the right side. Anderson will try for the point after. Colquitt holding at the 10-yard line. This is at the post to the left. The ball is down, the kick is up, and the flag is down. So we'll see what the ruling. The kick was good.
Illegal formation, offense. Well,
illegal formation on Pittsburgh. Did you have a note over there?
Yes, I wanted to tell you, Jack, that this is the first time that the Steelers have scored in the first quarter in 5 ball games. They have been a dead starting team, but they're alive today, are they not?
So we'll try this over again, and there should be no problem. I say that. You can always have a problem, but this will be from the 15. Colquitt the holder, and Gary kicking at the post to the left. Steelers possessed this football a long time. There goes the kick. It is good. So with 8:39 to play in the first quarter, We have a score of 7-0 in favor of the Steelers and a timeout. Now this for L.A. Beer and Motorcraft.
From Anheuser-Busch.
12 plays, not a penalty in that drive. Mark Malone 3 for 4. A big run by Frankie Pollard for 14 yards. Big pass to Ouija Thompson for 24 yards. I might add the Jets have beaten the Browns 24-20, and that's nice.
Carl Monroe is down deep. Good returner. He opened the ball game on Monday night with a fine return for San Francisco. And with him, Derek Harmon, a 1983 Ivy League most valuable player at Cornell. The kickoff will come right to left from the 35. Gary Anderson kicking it off. Monroe to the far side and Harmon to the near side. And here comes the kickoff. Harmon backs up. 2 yards deep in the end zone, out of it a 5. The 10 swings left, the 15, the 20. Here he comes, 25, 30. He is caught and ridden down along the 30-yard line. And the man who overtook him was Todd Seabaugh, who has been an excellent special teams performer. Mark it at the 30.5.
Seabaugh not only making the tackle, but trying to strip the ball at the same time. Wasn't able to do it, but gave it a good effort. So the 49ers start just outside their own 30-yard line.
The play fake. Montana back, firing down the field, misses his target, Dwight Clark, at the 43-yard line and threw it a little bit behind him. Let me run over the starting lineup. Clark and Wilson are the starting wideouts. Mike Wilson replacing Freddie Solomon, who is still hurt. Bubba Ferris, John Ayers, Fred Quillen, Randy Cross, Alan Kennedy at right tackle in place of Keith Fawnhorst, Russ Francis, the tight end. Wendell Tyler, fine running back with a propensity for the fumble. One of the spots, Roger Craig, who was great Monday night on the Flares at the other, and Joe Montana's the quarterback. We'll check the defense in a moment. 2nd down 10, and here goes the man in motion. That's Roger Craig out to the left, and he's set up out there, flagged down on the play. Montana rolling right, and is chased out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Could have a holding call against the Niners. Mike Merriweather pursued him on the near side and chased him out of bounds.
So Montana again wanted to pass. Now where the Steelers established their run right off the bat, the 49ers' method is to establish the pass. They want you looking for the pass right off the bat. And Joe Montana, he hits those short routes very nicely, occasionally goes deep, throws to 10 different receivers, which is why none of the 49er receivers are among the statistical leaders in the league. But again, that's explained by the fact that he throws to so many people. His leading receiver is Roger Craig, who plays fullback.
Well, they're making the decision, and the man talking to him is important. That's Jack Lambert, who did start this game. We told you it would depend on how he felt in the warm-ups. A 10-yard mark-off back near the 20.
56, offense. All right, it's a holding call against the center, Fred Quillen, so the 49ers are now back at their 20-yard line.
2nd and 20. John Goodman, Gary Dunn, and Keith Gary in there for the Steelers. Mike Merriweather, Jack Lambert, Robin Cole, Brian Hinkle, the linebackers. Dwayne Woodruff and Sam Washington on the corners. Shell, the strong safety, and Eric Williams, the free safety. 49ers at their own 20-yard line. 2nd down and 20 yards to go. Montana takes a deep drop. Montana steps forward and lets it fly, and it is caught brilliantly at the 41-yard line by Dwight Clark. Goes down at the 42. Comes down, slants in, makes the play on a neat catch, and Eric Williams brings him down, and that should be a 1st down. It is for the Niners.
Actually, at the nose of the football at the 43-yard line, so a pickup of 23 yards on the play as Montana, with 20 yards to go for a 1st down, bites it all off. Nice work by Montana. Good protection for him as well.
As we said earlier, in the ratings, he is the all-time quarterback rating leader in the NFL. He is something. They set their flanker close on the right side. They've got 2 ends tight, and they hand that ball off. And here comes Wendell Tyler. Good runner. Comes up over the 45, out of bounds at the 47-yard line. This was the guy that we saw in the Super Bowl. And if my memory isn't dropping off, the Steelers gave him a pretty tough physical pounding that day.
Oh, they just knocked his teeth out. He was running those cutbacks against the grain, and the Steelers designed a defense to meet that, and he'd cut back, and bam, Dirt Winston would be there, or Jack Splat, Lambert, and they just knocked that guy silly. He was taken off the field 5 times. Incidentally, I think you've just offended Danny Marino fans. I'll tell you why in a moment.
Okay, 2nd down and 5 yards to go with the flanker to the left and 2 tight ends. Now they split the back, shifting Craig a little to the left. Montana on a long count. Montana dropping back. Here comes the rush. He fires to the far side. What a catch that was. A diving catch at the Pittsburgh 38-yard line. Mike Wilson diving at grass top. coming over to cover very quickly. Lambert, Washington, and Hinkle, but the man made the catch and dove to the turf doing it. First down, 10 at the 38.
I'm probably wrong. Did you say that Montana has the best quarterback rating in the league?
Yes.
No, Marino does.
No, all time.
Oh, okay.
Marino's only been there 1 year.
All right, I thought you
Listen
meant currently.
closely.
All right.
Follow me closely.
I'm upbraided. All right already.
Stay alert. The time lag has you all screwed up here. Here's a play fake by Montana. He's back real deep. Lots of time to the far side. Hey, too high. Threw it over the head of Mike Wilson at the sideline at the 24-yard line. Donnie Shell on the coverage. But Montana put too much mustard on it. That's his fourth pass, 2 completed.
Well, the Steelers are not attempting to put a heavy pass rush on Montana. They're not throwing a lot of people at him. Of course, Montana has nifty feet, and he can avoid that scramble nicely. So perhaps they're thinking about that, as well as the fact that he sends a lot of receivers downfield who have to be covered.
Clark to the left. They flank Wilson to the right. The backs are in the eye. Montana, the signal caller, hands it off. And here goes Wendell Tyler, and he is nailed along the 40-yard line by Keith Gary. Gary penetrated, made the move on him, and brought him down for a loss of about 2 yards at the Steelers' 40-yard line.
And, of course, the 49ers acquired Wendell Tyler last year, the day before the 1983 draft. And he has been a heck of a football player for them, averaging 5.7 yards a carry this season. That's some kind of average.
Merriweather is in. Robin Cole is in there. Rick Woods is in. Woods becomes the nickel back. And the Steelers look at 3rd and 12 for Montana. Split backs. Montana's back deep again. Now he's running. Now he throws a little short one down to the 38-yard line. It is caught. Picked up. That was the safety valve man, Roger Craig. And he is brought down at the 33-yard line. So it's going to be well short of a first down. They're going to mark that at the 34-yard line, Myron.
Good defense by the Steelers. The Steeler cornerbacks jamming the wide receivers at the line of scrimmage, and Montana unable to find them open. The corner staying with them after jamming them. So, yeah, it's 4th down and 6 to go for the 49ers, a long 6, and they trail the Steelers 7-0 as they set up for the field goal.
Well, Ray Wersching is going to go for it. He is 10 of 13. This will be a 51-yard attempt. Montana holding, flag on the play. Is it good? It is. The kick is good from 51 yards out. And the penalty marker on the near side. Here's the call.
Formation number 66, offense.
Illegal formation. So that's going to be 5 yards. That could change the strategy.
And that call is against Alan Kennedy, the tackle, who is starting today in place of the injured Keith Fawnhorst.
Here comes Max Runiger, the punter. That changes the strategy.
I'll bet you he had his backside in the backfield. That rule that they are now strictly enforcing.
All right, line of scrimmage is the Pittsburgh 39, and the Steelers have one man downfield, Rick Woods. Runiger standing at his zone 46, and he puts it up in the air toward the far side of the field and kicks it well out of bounds. Now, the question is, where are they going to determine the point of re-entry? They're going to say the 15-yard line, and I'm too far away to question it, but it looks strange. 24-yard punt, and he puts the Steelers back at their own 15. We have a timeout. The score is 7-0 Pittsburgh. You're listening to Steelers football on Mutual.
The Sports Report is brought to you by People Express, the airline that's bringing record prices.
But as he was stopped on the crossbuck coming in right to left, they hit him, and he came slipping off and looked to me like he might break loose. But they reacted again, and down he goes.
The Steelers have not had a whole lot of success running against the middle of that San Francisco defense. Where their success has been to the outside.
Tuiasa Sopo is back on the nose, the 6-year veteran from UCLA. Stuckey to his left, Board to his right. Showing a little blitz, but they don't. And here's Ehrenberg breaking over the right side, and they close in on him at the 21-yard line. Ehrenberg that time found the hole, and again it looked as though he might have running room, but they reacted very well. And Hacksaw Reynolds brought him down at the 21-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 5. And here is San Francisco making changes.
On the first play from scrimmage in this game, I saw Ehrenberg do something you rarely see him do, which is to run away from the hole. He had a good hole to his left. He ran to his right. He rarely does that. Anyhow, it's third and
Johnson are in there. They have a four-man down front, and they've got their prevent defense on this play. And the Steelers, Mark Malone is back deep. And Malone lets it fly to the far side. Stallworth at the 41, and the angle takes him out of bounds at the 43. First down, Pittsburgh, as Stallworth goes beyond Ronnie Lott, eats his lunch, and catches the ball for a big first down.
One problem the 49er defense definitely has this year is that they lack a strong pass rush. Fred Dean has been a holdout all season, their best pass rusher. They've gotten 4 sacks from Dwayne Board and also from Milt McCall, a pass-rushing linebacker, but they are the sack leaders for the 49ers. All right, big play on the pass to Stallworth. Malone is hot.
Widgie Thompson to the right, Stallworth to the left. Wingback set on the right side. Lone setback is Ehrenberg. Now here comes Pollard in motion, and he gives to Ehrenberg, and Ehrenberg tries it up the middle to the 45-yard line. Doggone it, as you said, they are tough in there. Reynolds tripped him up by catching him around the ankle. Then he ran into those big guys, and they just simply sealed it off. And Carlton Williamson, the former Pittsburgh performer, stuck his nose in. They did an article in the paper, and I'm sure you read it, on strong safeties today and the lack of attention they get. And Carlton has the advantage, they say, of stepping into the pros at that position because he played it at Pitt.
And he said his motto was Donnie Shell. Donnie Shell was his hero.
It is second down and 8 yards to go. And the pitch back, the ball to Ehrenberg coming to the left, and they got him. Well, no question about that one. Milt McCall penetrating and breaking up the play. He's the 4-year veteran from Stanford, outside linebacker, and it's a loss back to the 44-yard line, so it will be 3rd and 9.
Well,
and
really,
the 49ers should know what to expect.
The Colgate kid really ought to have cut that one up, and he might have made a few yards, but he tried to get something to the outside, and it just was not there. Big play for Malone, 3rd and 9.
This brings Kelcher and Johnson into that defensive front. Pittsburgh puts 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Wingback on the left side. Single setback, and Malone calling the signals. And Malone has to throw it quickly. They were coming, and it is broken up. On a slant, he was going to Greg Garrity, who had entered the ball game at the 49ers' 49-yard line, and they closed in on him tightly, and Garrity had it broken up.
Yeah, they were blitzing the free safety, Dwight Hicks, but Malone did get the ball away. Good 49er defense. Malone looks poised in the pocket.
All right, Colquitt is in punt formation. And the 49ers have Dana McLemore downfield. Snap. Colquitt gets away. A low, wobbly kick bouncing down at the 27 and rolling dead at the 23-yard line. That one wasn't going to go anywhere. So mark it a 33-yard punt with no return. Did a pretty good job on a poor kick with a score 7-0 Pittsburgh. There's a timeout, and this for Golf Oil.
Underdogs by 9.5 points are leading the 49ers 7-0, but the 49ers now have the ball at their 23-yard line. I think you have to say they're the most inventive team in the National Football League. Over a stretch of, let's say, 3 games, they'll run more than 80 offensive sets. That is just enormous.
Niners at their own 23. Now they split a man to the left and put a wing back in that close slot. Now bring the flanker from the left side in motion back to the right. Here's Montana back, throwing right over the middle and completing it to the 28-yard line to Dwight Clark. And Clark is immediately brought down on the play by Jack Lambert. So it is going to be a gain up to the 28-yard line. We pause for station identification on the Mutual Steelers radio network.
Pennsylvania's Information and Sports Authority, 1250 WTAE, Pittsburgh.
Second down, 5 yards to go for the 49ers. Clark this time to the right. And they send Wilson as a flanker to the left. Strong left formation. Split backs are wide. Now going in motion to the left, Roger Craig, and they hand it off inside. Great move by Wendell Tyler at the line of scrimmage, and he's all the way to the 39, almost the 40-yard line. Eric Williams, they should have had him at the line of scrimmage. He should have made it to the 30. Instead, he gave them a move you wouldn't believe, and he comes all the way to the 40-yard line. It is a first down.
Well, he is a quick little guy, Wendell Tyler. You know, you were talking about how the Steelers battered him in that Super Bowl. I was on a boat trip in Hawaii with Wendell Tyler and Dirt Winston, a whole bunch of other football players shortly after that Super Bowl, and Dirt said to him, if we meet up again with you, we are going to beat you up so bad you'll think the other game was a picnic. Wendell looked sick.
Two tight ends, flanker from the right side, and here is a step off by Russ Francis, and that should draw the penalty against San Francisco. We'll catch that in just a moment.
Yeah.
When you say you're on a boat ride, were you in one of those native canoes with these guys? I can just see you. I can't envision you spending the money to go on a ship, though.
It was a cruise for all the guys that were at that, what do they call it, Superstars thing. They had the Rams out there and the Steelers. Wendell got up out of his chair and he went up to the top deck. He didn't want to hear anymore.
Gentlemen, let's all hear it in the booth for the man that went on a cruise with the Superstars. How's your cold today?
I don't even care to discuss it with you.
I'm just teasing. 35-yard line. I knew you were in a bad mood when we came to the park.
It's ruined my day.
Handoff is taken by Roger Craig. No, he faked it and fires downfield. Now you're taking my concentration away. He faked it beautifully and he fires downfield. He's going for Mike Wilson, and what a job Dwayne Woodruff did on him.
Well, the Steelers are playing in that secondary as though they're willing to give Montana the short pass, but they don't want him to hit the deep one. And again, they're playing largely an 8-man secondary. Their 3-man rush is usually pinned down in the trenches, but that's all right. They're satisfied to have a lot of people in that secondary, and Woodruff was right with Wilson every step of the way.
There I was watching Montana and seeing a vision of you in that native canoe with Dirt Winston. I lost it. All right, we got the nickel back in. The change is up front. Second down and 15, and they hand it off, and Gary Dunn had Roger Craig by the jersey. Could not hold him. He slipped away, and he comes up to the 40-yard line. Dunn made the penetration, could not stop him, and Lambert and Cole brought him down. That brings it back, what, to the almost to the 41-yard line.
And Dunn had made a heck of a play to get hold of Craig's jersey. He had to reach around a blocker, and he darn near put Craig down, but it's 3rd and 9.
Pittsburgh playing 5 defensive backs. We get the gun sounding at the end of the first quarter of the ball game. The score is Pittsburgh 7, San Francisco nothing. Now this for Lanier and Motorcraft.
Look, I need dictation equipment that's reliable and easy to use. Can't someone give it to me? See, Lanier.
I'm getting buried in paperwork. I need a way to organize my work by priority. But dictating with only one tape just isn't enough.
See, Lanier for the messenger.
I'm out of the office and on the road a lot. I've got to find a way to dictate by telephone.
See, Lanier. The messenger lets you call in and record messages anytime, day or night.
Yes, equipment is important, but so is service. If I need help, I need it fast. Who should I talk to?
See, Lanier for the messenger. You can rely on Lanier to provide fast, dependable service. If there's a problem, we're there. See, Lanier for the state-of-the-art in thought processing equipment. See, Lanier. We're now part of Harris Corporation, a world leader in information technology.
In response to all the claims made about competitive spark plugs, consider this: the extended tip spark plug from Motorcraft. It actually cleans itself as you drive, burning away sooty carbon deposits that can drain your car's performance and power. And it's so tough, it can handle power surges up to 38,000 volts. For more protection than you should ever need, the extended tip spark plug from Motorcraft. Quality parts for all makes of cars and trucks. Motorcraft exceeds the need.
Back again at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. I'm Jack Fleming along with Myron Cope on a beautiful day here in the Bay Area. Niners now moving right to left, 3rd and almost 10. Montana dropping back. Montana dumps it right over the middle, and it is caught by Wilson. No, make that Tyler at the 44, and then he starts looking for running room and is brought down at the 45. So Tyler coming out of the backfield had crossed over, and Montana dumped it right over the middle to him. He got trapped by Keith Willis and Eric Williams, and he couldn't find his way out. It's going to be 4th and punt formation.
And Eric Williams laid a hit on him to make sure that he wouldn't make it to those sticks, and he was far short of the sticks, 4 yards almost short of the sticks.
All right, now they go into punt formation. This is Max Runiger. And he lifts a pretty good one down toward Rick Woods at the Steelers' 14-yard line. Woods to the 15, breaks one tackle, and then they come in and wave right over top of him. They got an awful lot of people down there on Rick Woods. Let's see if he's still got the football. He does. You know, one of the first was Max Runiger down there, the kicker himself, and along with him was Todd Shell. 7-0 Pittsburgh in a timeout. Now this is for Goodyear Auto Service and Poland Chainsaws.
If the last place that serviced your car kept you waiting, didn't do what they said they'd do, or charged you more than you thought they would, maybe it's time for a change. Come over to Goodyear. We won't waste your time, and we won't waste your money. We'll just give you the best car service you've ever had, and we'll guarantee it in writing. Call or stop by your Goodyear Auto Service Center today for complete car care. We'll take good care of your car because we want Goodyear to be your auto service center for good.
When you need a new chainsaw, you know to go to your Poland dealer, but you may have trouble pronouncing the name of that chainsaw. You know, the one made in America, the one that's feature for feature and dollar for dollar the best value on the market. Well, it's pronounced Poland, not Poolin or Palin, it's Poland. So when you need a new saw, head for your Poland dealer and ask for Poland chainsaws. No matter how you say it, the name means quality.
All right, Mark Malone puts the ball in play at the Steelers' 17. He has completed 4 of 6 passes for 60 yards. If I'm not mistaken, Jack, the only penalty the Steelers have had on offense or defense was the one when Gary Anderson attempted an extra point and had to kick it over again. So they are playing some good football on both sides of the line today.
Milton McCall remains in there in place of Dan Buns at left outside linebacker. And the Steelers at their own 17, left to right on offense, leading 7-0. Send Pollard in motion to the left with a play fake. Malone is back, and he looks to the far side, and he finds Stallworth. Stallworth hooked in front of the defensive back at the 34, runs laterally, comes over the 35, and then is wrestled down to the ground. It took 2 men to bring him down. Eric Wright and Ronnie Lott both over in that area, and Dwight Hicks helping out, and it is a first down. So Stallworth puts the incomparable move on the cornerback.
And Eric Wright showing him a lot of respect, playing loose off John Stallworth, the ball at the 36-yard line.
5 passes completed. Stallworth has caught 4 of them. Out of the I formation, Stallworth to the left and Ouija Thompson to the right. And the give is to the top of the I, and this is Walter Abercrombie coming right up through the middle over the 40 to the 41-yard line, and he'll pick up just about 5 yards, a little shy of 5, second down and a long 5. Let's run down that line for you. Tunch Ilkin, Emo Bories, Mike Webster, Terry Long, and Larry Brown. Chris Kolodziejski is the tight end. John Stallworth and Ouija Thompson, the wideouts. Malone, the quarterback, and the running backs right now are Hollard and Abercrombie. Still in there. Second down and a 5-yard measure there for a first down. Here's Pollard heading left, putting on the brakes, cutting back to the right, and he brings the football to the 44-yard line. Again, you saw the possibilities of him breaking loose on that one, and he was brought down by Jim Stuckey.
Who's he trying to look like, Walter Abercrombie?
Doing some great moving.
You don't see that from Frankie Pollard, but there you did see it. There was no place to go when he ran to his left, so he gave it the pivot and came back the other way, and it's 3rd and 2 for the Steelers. They keep moving that football there at their own 44-yard line.
He looked a little more like Fred Astaire. All right, here they go. They got 2 tight ends. The wing back on the right side. Now here's Pollard going in motion, and Tunch Ilkin, I think, jumped offside, so that's going to cost them. Now the Niners are shifting their defense. Here's the call. Illegal procedure, and that's going to cost 5, and that will change everything around.
Well, so Mark Malone is facing a passing down now, and so many people have been critical of Malone, even though they've seen so little of him in his Steeler career of more than 4 years. Some say too mechanical. Others have other criticisms, but he is looking smooth today. See what he does on third and a long 7.
Right here, the 49ers set to jam them right at the line of scrimmage. They've got those men up tight. They've got only 2 men back. And a rush on Malone. And Malone lets it go right over the line of scrimmage. It is pulled in by Ehrenberg at the 48. Takes it over the 50 to the Niners' 49-yard line. He is brought down by Tom Homo. Beautiful strategy by Malone. He did 2 things. He took advantage of the coverage they lacked, and he also got rid of the football on that all-out rush, and he hits Ehrenberg for a first down.
Yes, and he did not release that ball till the blitz was practically in his face. So he gave that man a chance to get free, namely Rich Ehrenberg. The ball just across midfield.
I got a question to ask you guys in a moment. Serious question. Here's the handoff to Pollard running to the right. He's in trouble, but he keeps digging, as he usually does. He makes it to the 47. He picks up a couple of yards. Got a couple of good hits from Ricky Ellison and Jim Stuckey. I keep saying number 77. Everything that I have here lists Steve August as 66, and Lou, you got him as 77. Is that right? So apparently he is wearing 77. He's been coming in there in double tight end situations.
And of course the Steelers gave up a draft pick this past week to get him from Seattle.
Boy, he is a big guy. 260. Wing back on the right side. Here's Malone handing the ball out to Pollard. Swings left, cuts over the line of scrimmage, then over the 45 and on to the 41-yard line. So he started at the 47. He picks up 6 yards on the carry before they finally close in on him. And the key man on the stop was Dwight Hicks, the free safety.
And he got a big block from Emil Boris. The Steeler offensive line is performing, are they not?
Doing a good job today.
3rd and a long 1.
They usually spring back when they've had a bad week and gotten a great deal of criticism. They bounce right back from it.
Well, they're leading 7-0 in the second period.
Wing back right, Kolodziejski. And the handoff, and here comes Abercrombie over the 40, and he goes down at the 39. Now, will they have enough for a first down?
I think so.
I don't, it'll be close. I think you're right.
He wriggled and writhed, and I think he got it.
I keep watching that official marking the ball. He did not need to reach the 39. They're going to take the sticks out and take a look at it.
And he squirmed and he squished, and I do think he got it. 10 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. The Steelers having an upset in the making, but of course it's still very early, and Walter Abercrombie has it. First down at the 39-yard line of the 49ers, and the Steelers are keeping that football away from the dangerous San Francisco offense. They're chewing up yardage.
7-0 Pittsburgh with 9:54 to play in the first half. Stallworth to the left to the far side, and they bring Ouija Thompson to the near side. Backs out of the eye. Strong right formation. Here's Malone back, pumping left, looking left, going deep for Stallworth. Stallworth goes up for the catch, can't get it. Stallworth was one-on-one over there with Eric Wright, and the ball was coming in behind him. Stallworth threw on the brakes and made the move to the ball. And had he been able to pull that one in, that would have been one of those patented great Stallworth catches, but it didn't quite get there.
And I'll tell you something, Eric Wright running behind him, I don't think Wright knew where he was, because Stall put on the brakes and that ball hit him on the hands, but he just couldn't hang on. It would have been a difficult catch, but we're accustomed to seeing John Stallworth make those catches. We're spoiled. 2nd and 10.
At the 49ers 40-yard line. Here comes Stuckey back out on the field, and Milt McCall comes off the field. All right. The Niners with 4 down linemen. Steelers with a slot man to the left side, Ouija Thompson. The backs are split wide, and the ball handed off to Abercrombie, and they've got him trapped, and along the 40, they bring him down at the far side of the field. Abercrombie trying to get outside to the far side of the field. And he had tremendous pursuit that time by Jim Fonhorst, the linebacker, who brought him down.
Well, the Steelers crossing up the 49ers, or trying to, with that sweep, and they had been successful with their sweeps. And I suppose they figured, well, if they could run the ball a little bit, get it in field position. But now they're at the 40-yard line, 3rd and a little more than 10 to go.
Ray Garrity is in the ball game. Garrity lines up to the right side. Stallworth flanks outside Garrity. They put Ouija Thompson over to the left. Ehrenberg on the wing. It is 3rd down and 11. And here is the pass to Garrity on a sharp diagonal down to the 30. It's calculated to make the first down, and it missed it by just a bit. Now, Garrity came off the line of scrimmage on the sharp diagonal. Malone fired very quickly coming out from under center. Garrity was brought down at the 30-plus inches. So they missed the first down, and that brings on Gary Anderson. That's Garrity's first catch of the ball game. And as a matter of fact, that is his first catch of the season. Here's Colquitt holding at the 38-yard line. And the kicker is Gary Anderson. It will be a 48-yard attempt at the post to the right. Here comes the snap. The ball is down. Anderson kicks it, and it is good. Anderson kicks a 48-yard field goal for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who now lead 10-0. We have a timeout in San Francisco. This for GMAC and Service Star.
That Frankie Pollard has rushed for 34 yards on 7 carries today. That's an average of 4.9 a carry. Good running by Pollard. The 49ers throwing lots of blitzes at the Steelers, but they're not getting there. Their pass rush is questionable. The Steelers lead 10-0.
Carl Monroe down deep. He wears number 32, and Derek Harmon in number 24 down there with him, and the ball is blown by the breeze off the tee, and Gary Anderson will set it back up. Now, Harmon was the return man on the initial kickoff that Anderson sent to them. Here it comes left to right. Anderson kicks it high and well, and it is taken by Monroe in the end zone, and he'll kneel for the touchback. The ball comes out to the 20-yard line, and the 49ers will put Joe Montana to work. San Francisco had both Ronaldo Nehemiah and Mike Wilson out there, and then they brought them off the field. They had 13 men on, and then they cut to 11 just as they got ready to move into action. Here is Montana pitching the ball back. It is bobbled, and it's going to be recovered by the Steelers. No, it was pitched to Roger Craig. It looked like the Steelers should have had it, but Sam Washington couldn't find it. Craig on a pitch sweep to the left side, coming to the near side of the field, simply lost control of the ball. It was bobbling in front of him. I thought Washington had a shot, but he did not, and they recover.
Yeah, well, that ball was still bouncing around there unpredictably and a little hard to handle for Sam, though he did have a clear line to the football, but it's a loss of 4.5 yards on the play, and the 49ers are struggling.
Dwight Clark set to the left. You got a wing back over on the right side, and Montana takes his drop, firing to the near side of the field, and it is caught by Earl Cooper at the 20-yard line. He is driven out of bounds by Eric Williams. Cooper is a 5-year veteran from Rice, one of their 3 tight ends. The third is young Mr. John Frank, the rookie from Ohio State by way of Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
And, of course, you'll remember Earl Cooper as a running back for the 49ers in 1981 when they won the Super Bowl, but they converted him to a backup tight end. They're a much deeper team than the one that won the Super Bowl.
Rick Woods and Keith Willis have entered. Pittsburgh still using 3 down linemen in this situation. And back goes Montana. Montana has to give it to the safety valve man, and again it's Cooper at the 25. He'd rise for the 30, and I think he may have a first down. Montana was looking for bigger goals, but he had to settle for Earl Cooper, who had hooked at about the 25-yard line. Wayne Woodruff made the tackle. It is a first down for San Francisco.
And again, the Steelers secondary is dropping downfield to seal off the deeper routes. And the crowd is getting aggravated by that circumstance, but they're not giving Montana, that is, the secondary is not giving Montana much choice. But now he's at his 30-yard line with the first down.
Mike Wilson is out, and John Frank is in the ball game. Strong right formation. Wingback right now, 2 tight ends as they slip a man up on the line of scrimmage and pitch the ball back. And here, running off balance, Roger Craig coming to the near side, and he's brought down along the 30-yard line by Keith Gary, along with Mike Merriweather. Ball edges inches outside the 30, basically no gain on the play. And on 2 plays now, we've seen this man have difficulty with his balance. Carl Monroe is coming into the ball game, and here is Mike Wilson coming back, and they're coming off with Earl Cooper and Dwight Clark. Boy, he shuttles a lot of people.
I was just going to say, they haven't had the same 11 men on the football field for 2 successive plays, I'd venture to guess.
All right, this time they've got the wingback in a close slot on the left side. They send Carl Monroe in motion out to the right, and Montana goes back. And Montana fires to an open man out to the right in the flat territory at the 30-yard line, hits him, and he drives up over the 40. Well, they just cleared that out perfectly for Roger Craig, because everybody seemed intent on going after those that were cutting downfield. Carl Monroe being among those, and Craig was wide open. Lambert and Merriweather got him. It's a first down at the 41-yard line.
And again, Montana has a long way to travel with those kind of passes. And sooner or later, you probably make a mistake.
David Little has replaced Jack Lambert in the lineup. Mike Wilson sets up to the left. Again, the wing is in the slot right. And they bring a man in motion, Monroe, out to the left. And the short drop and the pass fired out to Monroe at the 43. He struggles up over the 45 to the 46. Montana had to get rid of that one. Sam Washington made the tackle. They will give Monroe the 46-yard line. Interesting thing, that time they set, or the time before this, they set Craig out there in a basically stop position waiting for the ball. And normally against the Giants, he was flaring, swinging out to the right. He became a mean weapon for them. He scored 1 touchdown, if you recall, Myron. Shook off a linebacker and went right in. Goodman out. Willis in for the Steelers. Wing back in the slot on the left side, and they pitch it back again. Now, here comes the coverage, and Roger Craig is belted out of bounds at about the 47.5-yard line. Keith Gary and Donnie Shell. The book on this man was simply get as many people to him as possible. Now, instead of throwing him the swing or the flare, what they're doing now is using the pitch, sweep, and trying to shake him loose outside, mostly to the left on that play. They're going left-handed instead of right-handed as they did at New York.
Yep, but that Steeler defense is hitting all right. Third and a long 3.
They're getting people to the ball. 3rd, long 3. Wing back on the right, a double wing formation now with a single setback. And Montana is back. And Montana steps forward, throws, gets a man at the Pittsburgh 47. Pass is complete down to the 45-yard line as he found Wendell Tyler floating around under the coverage and hit him. Brown and Merriweather made the stop. Now, what Montana is getting on this drive is lots of time. And that's going to cause you a good bit of trouble in the long run. But they still have been able to seal off the long routes.
Well, the Steelers tried to step up the pressure a little that time. They rushed 4 men at Montana, but yes, he had lots of time.
10-0 ball game. 3:22 to go in the second quarter. Steelers almost had it back on a fumble by San Francisco, which they recovered. Play fake. Montana wants to go. Nope. He just lobs it over the line of scrimmage out to the right. It is caught by Roger Craig. Now, there you had that little action. Not a full flare. He simply was slipping out along the line of scrimmage, and Montana looked deep, then flipped it to him. What happens? Craig lost his balance on the turf down there, and they caught him. Where have they marked the football? It should be at the 41. That's where it is.
And that time they held Craig in the backfield for a couple of counts, and then he slipped through there. So he's gotten the ball to the Steelers' 41-yard line.
Montana is itching to go deep. Is Nehemiah in there now? I see Clark coming off. This man down on the sideline shuttles so many people in and out. And here's the handoff, and this is Wendell Tyler on a slash down the middle. Over the 40 to the 35, and he has the 34.5-yard line. He's very near to a first down. Donnie Shell gets the stop. And it's going to require a measurement. The clock reads 2:16 to go in the first half. Pittsburgh leading 10-0. And San Francisco very definitely threatening on this very well conceived and I would say carefully executed drive. That's a first down. The man is not being greedy at all, Myron. He's taken, he said, I'm down 10-0, so what? I'll take what I can get.
That's right. He's practically using the pass as the equivalent of a run, but he started his drive back at his 20-yard line, and he's down to the Steelers' 35, inside the 35.
All right, he has Wendell Tyler back there along with Roger Craig. Brings the slot man from the right in motion to the left. Hands the ball off to Wendell Tyler, and he's swinging out to the left, trying to get outside. Does it to 30, to 25, to 20. Out of bounds at the 19-yard line in Pittsburgh territory. Chased out by Eric Williams. Now, was there a marker down? Well, at any rate,
they are bringing it back.
They are. We have a timeout on the field with the score 10-0. You're listening to Steelers football on Mutual.
Home improvement decisions are never easy.
John, Marcia just told me she got a hot tub. I want one.
So there was no flag. It is still first down at the Steelers' 34-yard line. The 49ers are starting to successfully run the ball now against that Steeler defense. But the 49ers are trailing 10-0.
Here are the Niners coming out of the huddle. Mike Wilson is in the ball game, 6'3", 210 from Washington State. Set out to the right. Dwight Clark to the left. Split backs behind Montana in a strong right formation. Joe Montana firing right down the middle to the 23-yard line. The ball is pulled in by Russ Francis, and he goes to the 15. There he is, all world, making his first appearance in this game from the standpoint of catching anything. The 9-year veteran from Oregon, tackled by Donnie Shell. They marked the ball at the 16, and that is a name to remember, Russ Francis.
And the Steelers did something they have not been doing today. They tried to blitz Montana. They sent Lambert up the middle, but he never came close to getting there. Then he ended up backtracking downfield. I believe it was Lambert they were blitzing.
All right, Francis caught it. Wilson now to the right. Clark to the left. And on a little delayed action, they give the ball to Wendell Tyler, and he finds an opening on the trap down to the 10, on down to around the 7.5-yard line. Eric Williams and Jack Lambert bring him down, and San Francisco is very near to another first down, and the 49ers call a timeout to stop the clock with 1:09 to go. The score is 10.
The 49ers at the Steelers' 7-yard line. Second and a long one. We pause for station identification. This is the Mutual Steelers Radio Network.
Thousands of dollars in cash and prizes on your football fortune station, 1250 WTAE Pittsburgh.
Back again at Candlestick at the 7-yard line. The 49ers, Montana quarterbacking. Montana with a play fake, rolling to the right, the 10, the 5, headed in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Montana rolling out to the right side. Carries it all the way in for the 49ers, and they're on the board with their first score of the ball game.
Well, Montana had to outrun Mike Merriweather, one of the fastest linebackers in football. He must have given Mike a little shoulder fake because in a foot race, Mike Merriweather was going to win it. But nope, he did not win this race. It was Joe Montana beat him into the corner, and the 49ers get on the board.
So they go for the point after. Ray Wersching out of California, 12-year veteran kicking. The kick is up. The kick is good. And the score is 10-7 Pittsburgh with timeout on the field. This for Honda and L.A. Beer.
From its precision handling, the new Honda Civic...
The Niners have 2 timeouts remaining. They can stop that clock.
I was listening to the call-in show after the pit game yesterday as I drove to the airport from Morgantown, and that was a point of contention in the last half hour of the show. Something about the Panthers had the ball late in the second quarter, I believe, and used running plays, and there was a gripe on that. So you brought up an interesting point. Here's the kickoff to Spencer at the 9 on the move. He bobbles it, muffs it, and it is recovered at the 15-yard line. Spencer, he muffed it forward, and Anthony Corley was there to recover it. Now, what he was thinking about there is hard to say, but he just simply blew the catch. They will start at the 15. The worst thing you could...
And it is a luxury to be up on these guys on the board. Playing catch-up football against them is murder, and of course we saw them score 21 points on the Giants Monday night by the middle of the first period, and when you're down to this team, it's difficult. So the lead is a big thing for the Steelers at the halfway point, but let's see what their strategy is. 58 seconds remaining in the second quarter. They're at their own 15-yard line.
Gary Johnson, 10-year veteran defensive lineman from Grambling, is in there, and Todd Shell, a rookie from BYU, a linebacker. has entered the lineup, and they're using 4 down linemen on the Steelers. Mark Malone quarterbacking the Pittsburgh team. And here's his handoff going to Frank Pollard. Pollard spins neatly as he goes outside left tackle and works his way up to the 19-yard line. It was a little difficult to hold on that one, but he was tracked down at the 19. Gary Johnson helped out by Ricky Ellison. Now we get a timeout. The 49ers want to conserve the time, so they use up their second timeout. They have 1 remaining. The ball is near the 20-yard line, second down, and a long 5. 48 seconds to go.
And they used up 10 seconds on that play, and it was to be expected that the 49ers would call a timeout. They have a good field goal kicker in Ray Wersching, one of the best in the business. And by the way, did you know that that old guy can not only kick field goals, Jack, but he can do your taxes for you? He's a certified public accountant.
Believe me, I could use him more in that department than in field goal kicking. Now let me look at another angle here. If they force you down into a punting situation, and if you don't move it, through the sticks, they will. Then in this situation with short time, they could come all out on the punt, risk fouling the punter, doing anything to try and get that block because they don't figure it's going to hurt them any.
But on the other hand, too, they have the best punt returner. Well, he's tied for the league lead with Henry Eller to the Rams. Dana McLemore is dynamite returning punts, and I'm sure that's in the back of the 49ers' heads as well, that they can, Dana McLemore might get them some very good field position. So, all right, we have second down, and let's call it 6 for the Steelers at their 19-yard line.
Great deal will hinge on this play right here. Mike Webster goes over the football for Pittsburgh. Walter Abercrombie and Frank Pollard are split behind Mark Malone, the quarterback. Steelers leading 10-7. 48 seconds remaining to play in the first half at San Francisco. And Malone hands it off to Pollard. Pollard tries to move to the outside and is brought down along the 20-yard line. He was heading off tackle, shook off a would-be tackler, then tried to get outside, and they had him cornered. And Stuckey was over there to make the play. Ricky Ellison, Todd Shell, and it will be third now and a long 4. So he got a yard, and they call a timeout.
And that is their final timeout. The 49ers last timeout. They have none left. We have 42 seconds remaining on the clock, and the Steelers third and a short 5. Here's the final. The Giants have beaten the Atlanta Falcons 19-7, so the Giants bounced back after being pasted by these 49ers. And look at the Cardinals. They beat the Chicago Bears by 17 points, 38-21. And they had a big win over Dallas last weekend. So the St. Louis Cardinals, with the nifty Neil Lomax at quarterback, they are looking like a bona fide contender for sure.
And we would remind our listeners that both Cincinnati and Cleveland went down today, and at last report, Houston was on its way down. What's the final?
They are down. The Dolphins beat them by 18, 28-10.
Oh, my goodness. Those guys who make up that little card, I think, said 17.5, didn't they?
I thought I saw 18, right on the nose.
Incredible. 2 men to the right and 1 to the left. Frank Pollard now setting up slightly to the right behind Malone. The handoff is to Pollard. Pollard makes a quick move up the middle, but he's not going to get far enough. He stopped at about the 22.5-yard line. Well, they're trying to play a little cat and mouse with him in there, and he ran right into Ricky Ellison, among others. So now let's see what's going to happen. Here is San Francisco sending Dana McLemore downfield, but they also are putting 10 men up front. You've got to figure that they're going to come after Colquitt. Clock is turning. Colquitt's going to be able to let time run out. San Francisco's strategy will not work. Down to 2-1, and time runs out with 5 seconds on the play clock. So the Steelers were very alert to what was going on. Even though I wasn't, I was worrying for Colquitt's life. I thought they might just come in there and maul him.
Well, Frankie Pollard used up just enough time on that third down play, right?
He looked like Fred Astaire again, doing the bolero.
Little more
the end
muscular.
of the first half. The score, Pittsburgh 10, San Francisco 7. Now this for GMAC. Line out over the 5, the 10, swings left, up over the 15, the 20, the 25, runs into Rick Woods, and down he goes. Woods getting a little backup help in there from Todd Seaball on the play. Let's see where they spot the football. Right around the 26, 27-yard line. First down, 10 to go for the San Francisco 49ers.
Joe Montana in the first half threw 15 times, completed 12 for 112 yards. Wasn't able to hit the big pass, but he completed a lot of them. 12 for 15.
Split end left, flanker right for San Francisco, running out of the eye. And here's a play fake by Montana. Here it comes way down the middle, and it is caught and held. We got a flag down against Pittsburgh, I'll bet you. And the pass is caught by Russ Francis around the 50. They hit him hard. He held on to it, and Eric Williams finally brought him down all the way down to the 41.
Donnie Shell was coming up to meet Francis. I thought he might be able to get to that football, but he couldn't. He hit Francis hard. Let's see what the call is.
Boy, that was a beauty.
A holding call against the Steelers declined, so the 49ers strike quickly.
Number 86 declined.
Well,
first down.
An illegal chuck, actually. Did he say 86? That can't be 86 because 86 is Greg Garrity. Perhaps I heard him wrong. But anyhow, the penalties declined as the 49ers moved the ball in one play to the Steelers' 41-yard line.
They line up with Clark to the right, and they put Earl Cooper to the left with two tight ends, and they set a man out to the left side, Mike Wilson, and bring a man in motion and hand it off to Wendell Tyler. Tyler breaks over the right side over the 40 down to the 39-yard line. So on one big play, they come from their 27-yard line all the way down to the Steelers' 41-yard line.
That's a 32-yard gain. And I guess Bill Walsh and Joe Montana at halftime said, we're just not going to let them take away the deep route. We'll try it with the tight end.
Montana calling the signals, moves his setbacks a tad closer. With the play fake, he's back again. Here he comes down the middle, and it's incomplete. Well, he had the crossover going, and the receiver that time was Mike Wilson, and he penetrated right through the middle of the secondary. Sam Washington came over, but the pass was off his fingertips. Down around the 20-yard line, incomplete. This is a completely different attack than they used in the first half, and it worries me a little bit.
Well, you know, they're going to come out and try something different because what they were showing was not working. It was being well defensed by a very populated Steeler secondary. All right, 3rd and 7.
Montana lines them up. Two tight ends. Flanker right. Montana now brings a man in motion. That's Craig coming to the left on the swing. Here he is out here for the swing pass, and it's off his fingertips. Montana missed him. Craig had to hold up. Now, why Montana delayed there, I'm not certain, but Craig had to hold up a little, and the pass was still overthrown. Did I call that one wrong? Was that not Craig? Was that Monroe?
No, let's see. That was Craig, all right, 33. I think he was worried about the sideline there, about being out of bounds. He actually could have caught that ball. Would have been difficult, but he could have caught it.
All right, punt formation. Max Runninger hangs it up nice and softly. Woods is going to let it go. And they've got the ball down at the 4-yard line. Line of scrimmage at the 38 down to the 34-yard punt. That rolls dead. With the score 10-7 in favor of the Steelers, we have a timeout, and this for Budweiser and Honda.
Okay, here's to you, Buckaroo. This but's for you. For being on the job and working hard all day. So here's to you. For all you do. The king of beers is coming through. For all you do. Well, this but's for you. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
My My daughter has recently become a proud expert on our family tree. I told her we could also be proud of the family of Civic hatchbacks from Honda. From the low-price Civic hatchback to the deluxe Civic DX hatchback to the sporty Civic S hatchback. I was so proud of them, I said, I had decided to get her one. Daddy, she said, you didn't turn out so bad after all.
My mistake, 29-yard punt dead at the 9-yard line, not the 4. We pause for station identification on the Mutual Steelers Radio Network.
Pennsylvania's Information and Sports Authority, 1250 WTAE, Pittsburgh.
We have some changes in that defense. Louis Kelcher is back in there as the nose tackle. Jim Stuckey plays to his left. Pillars was out of the game with the Giants and has been out of there today. Dwayne Board plays to his right. Milt McCall is in as an outside linebacker with Ellison, Reynolds, and Turner. And here's Pittsburgh ready to go at its own 9. 2 men to the left, 1 to the right. And the ball is handed off to Frank Pollard. Pollard coming off right tackle and advancing the football to the 13-yard line, near side of the field. And he is brought down by Todd Shell.
Pollard running outside, a nice block by the rookie guard Terry Long, who was playing some good football down there today. In the World Series, the Tigers have jumped off to a 3-0 lead over the Padres in the second inning. So they look in pretty good shape early on to put the Padres away.
So Todd Shell is playing in place of Keena Turner at an outside linebacker position. It is second down and 5.5. They give to Pollard. Pollard running to the left, and he tries to cut up over the 15. He makes it to about the 16-yard line. He'll gain a couple of yards on the play. Brought down, running toward the far side of the field again by Shell. That is Todd Shell from BYU, a rookie.
And he is the only one of their 10 linebackers. Again, they have a whopping 10 linebackers. The only one who hasn't played very much. He is their #1 draft pick this year. Keena Turner has been their best linebacker. Maybe he was nicked up a little.
Now they go to 6 defensive backs. They pick everybody up close near the line of scrimmage. Steelers have Ehrenberg on the wing to the left. Stallworth and Garrity are in there along with Thompson. Handed off to Frank Pollard, and Pollard belts his way up over the 20-yard line. He'll have a first down, running very hard that time. And he ran into a defensive man and just simply bounced off of him and went down at the 21-yard line.
Emil Bory's taking the defensive end, Jim Stuckey, and taking him very well, putting him down to open up a nice hole for the run, so the Steelers get their 11th first down of the ball game.
Carlton Williamson, be credited for that stop. First down and 10. Steelers leading 10-7. They're at their own 21. They move left to right here in the third quarter. They're in the white jerseys. And the handoff is given to Walter Abercrombie. He's trying to find running room to the right, and he is trapped and brought down along the 20-yard line. You see that time where he was trying to turn and face into the defense. He could not do it. Ronnie Lott just simply kept him contained right along the 20, a loss of a yard on the play. Second down, 11.
And Emil Bory's on that play, pulling from his slot on the left side of the Steeler line and running to his right. Had knocked Todd Shell, a linebacker, out of the play, but then I had to take on another man, and that was too much for Emil. So the Steelers lose a yard on the play, yeah.
49ers set with 4 down linemen in this situation. Second and 11. Play fake. And here's the pass to the far side to Stallworth. Stallworth had to come back for the ball to the 31-yard line. He broke a tackle, finally goes out of bounds. Stallworth had come back inside the 35, swinging toward the sideline to get that one. And in the meantime, the defensive back was after him, had driven him behind the 30 to the 29. He got loose. And what are they ruling? That he finally went out of bounds around the 35-yard line. A gain of 36, they put it down.
Well, it's a pickup of 16 yards on the play, so okay, the Steelers get the first down, and they're at their 36. His 5th catch, Stallworth's 5th catch. He has 72 yards receiving.
Backs are in a weak side set in a strong right formation. Stunning by the middle of the San Francisco defense. And the handoff is to Pollard. Pollard hits straight ahead to the 39-yard line. He'll pick up 3 yards on the carry. Runs into Dwayne Board. Board 6'5", 248, now a 5-year veteran from North Carolina A&T.
And John Stallworth, I might point out, came into this game with 32 catches on the year, tied with the super duper of the Miami Dolphins for 4th place in the AFC statistical rankings.
All right, now the Steelers work with 2 tight ends. Here's a little rollout action by Malone firing downfield, and Ouija Thompson trying to get to the ball at the San Francisco 39 is tied up by Ronnie Lott, and the pass falls incomplete. Thompson looked a little frustrated that time as the 4-year veteran from USC had him all tied up.
Well, Lott also had taken away his pass to the football. He couldn't get by Lott, and I'm not implying that Lott was doing anything illegal. He had good position on Ouija Thompson. All right, 3rd and 7.
Ouija goes to the left, Stallworth out to the right. Garrity's in the ballgame, splitting right with Stahl flanking outside him. Ehrenberg's on the wing to the left side. Pollard is the single setback. Malone takes his drop, and Malone lets the pass fly, and it is incomplete. Stallworth made his move downfield. Malone may have not had time. He may have unloaded that one too early, but there was nobody there.
Well, they weren't blitzing, but they were pressuring. They threw a 4-man rush at Mark Malone, and it was a good, strong rush. The Steeler offensive line did not pick it up well, so he did have to unload that football.
Defensive holding on San Francisco.
Well, I guess that was a Ronnie Lott on John Stallworth, holding Stallworth as Stallworth tried to make his way downfield.
That's the automatic first down. Brings the ball to the 44.5-yard line. And it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Steelers. Defensive holding. Malone sets his team up in the I formation. He's got Thompson to the right and Stallworth to the left. And the give is to Abercrombie. And Abercrombie, spinning and twisting, comes right up the middle to the 50-yard line. Now we got 2 players ready to mix it up, and one of them is Ouija Thompson, the other is Ronnie Lott. And Thompson might be getting a little bit tired of Lott's glue-like coverage down there and what he might be doing. Milt McCall comes on the field, and the Niners also come out with another substitution. Boy, they use a lot of people.
9:23 remaining in the 3rd period. The Steelers leading the 49ers 10-7. And they are at midfield, 2nd and 5.
2nd down, 5 to go. Scoop Gillespie is in that backfield. Ball hand off to Pollard. He makes a nice cut and comes down over the 45, inside the 45 by inches. Pollard heading right that time, and he cuts back to the left, and he moves the ball a little deeper with Dwight Hicks making the tackle. And they have a 1st down, inches inside the San Francisco 45-yard line.
Oh, that was a beautiful cut. I mean, he left Jim Stuckey, the defensive end on the left side of the 49er defense, just standing in his tracks. A beautiful cut by Pollard. You don't look for that kind of nifty cutting from Frankie Pollard, but there you saw it.
Ron Ferrari, 3rd-year linebacker from Illinois, was in for that play and is still in there. San Francisco with 3 down linemen jumped over. Now, did the Steelers pull them? What is the call? The officials are going off to the side to talk about it. Well, Blake Wingle is in the ball game for the Steelers. He was playing over on the left side.
Ball start, number 62, offense.
Ball start was on Tunch Ilkin. And that will cost the Steelers 5. Back to the 50-yard line.
But only their 3rd infraction of this football game. So they have played pretty smooth football.
Wingle had gone off the field. He comes back, and now Terry Long goes off. Long limping a little bit.
See, the Skins are leading the Cowboys in the 2nd period, 17-7.
All right, the Steelers line up now. 2 men to the left. Strong right formation. I formation. Play fake. And Malone to the far side, looking for his man Stallworth, and Stallworth goes for the ball and draws the flag on the defensive back. Coming over his back, Eric Wright. And Stallworth might be hurt.
And Stall could not get to that pass. It was thrown too high, but yes, Wright interfered with him, came down on his back.
Stallworth is up on his feet, shaking it off.
Defensive pass interference, number 21, first down.
All right, it's going to be a first down on pass interference at the San Francisco 37-yard line. That is an 8-yard penalty in effect. The second first down on penalties in this series. And the Steelers have run off 5 first downs. They move left to right. They're leading 10-7. 8:18 to play in the third quarter with a slot man to the left side. They run out of the I formation. Malone hands the ball off. Abercrombie running to the right. Needs to break a tackle. Can't do it at the 36-yard line, and he is brought down. Gets 1 yard out of the play. So they got coverage, and they have got Lawrence Pillars in the ball game now, and Pillars made that play, the 9-year veteran from Alcorn.
Well, Walter trying to turn that right side, but he only had Frankie Pollard out in front of him as a blocker, and Frankie had to take on 2 men, and obviously that was too much of an assignment, so it is 2nd down and 9.
Wayne Capers is in the ball game. Luigi Thompson is in there, and they've relieved Stallworth for the moment. Capers, the 2nd-year receiver from Kansas. Abercrombie on the wing to the left side. Pollard is the lone setback. Back goes Malone. Flag down on the play, and Malone fires, and the pass is broken up at the Pittsburgh 32-yard line. Wanting the interception that time was Keena Turner, who was back in there. He did not get it.
Nice play by Turner. He darn near had it. We've got
holding
him
against the Steelers.
Yep, a flag on the play. Keena Turner, by the way, comes from the same high school as Dick Butkus, Vocational High of Chicago, so that high school turned out a couple of outstanding linebackers.
Abercrombie going off the field, and Ehrenberg coming back. San Francisco counter. Stuckey is coming out, and Gary Johnson coming back out, and Pillars will go to the sideline.
Holding, number 79, offense, 2nd down.
All right, Larry Brown is called for a holding. It moves the ball back to the San Francisco 46-yard line. 2nd down, and let's call it 17.
Jim Stuckey is back at that left tackle position. The ball is at the 46-yard line. 2nd down and 19. And the Steelers are back to the line of scrimmage. Wingo is at right guard. Voorhees is at left guard. Ilkin at left tackle. Brown at right tackle. And Malone is back to pass, and he is hit and brought down. So driving through that time to make the stop on him, Gary Johnson.
Malone is squawking. Johnson had driven past Amon Voorhees, but Malone just stood there with the ball on his hip.
Somebody blew a whistle. I think that is the...
He obviously thought there was no play on.
Delay of game, offense.
So it's a delay of game penalty against the Steelers. Carries them back to their own 49-yard line.
Malone's got a legitimate beef. He says the whistle blew, and the man hit him well after the whistle. So now they're back at their own 49-yard line. Wayne Capers sets up wide to the left. 2 tight ends, and the give is to Abercrombie. With a pulling guard, Abercrombie cuts in behind the blockers, runs into his own man. A flag goes down, and Abercrombie is stopped at the San Francisco 48-yard line. We're getting a flag now on every play.
So the Steelers, who had been practically penalty-free in the first half, are now breaking down with repeated mistakes.
Another holding call.
The Steelers have to go clear to the 27-yard line of the 49ers to get a first down. Again, they lead in this ball game 10-7. 7 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the third period. And they are taking themselves way back into their own territory. Back to the 30. Let's see where he puts it. The 39-yard line.
Number 84, offense.
call was against Chris Kolodziejski, the rookie tight end. A holding penalty. Second down and a ton to go.
Well, they had 15 yards in penalties.
34.
They picked up 25 now in this drive.
34 yards to go for the first down.
Malone lines them up at the 39-yard line. Second down and a mile. Look out, Malone is in trouble, and they've got him, and down he goes at the 32-yard line. Nobody laid a hand on Dwayne Board that time, coming from Malone's blind side. So that will be at the 32-yard line, the first sack.
Board just steamed past Ray Snell, playing left tackle for the Steelers. Just went right by him. The first sack by either team in this ball game. So the Steelers' offense is under siege. They're back at their 32-yard line. Got to go to the 27 of the 49ers for a first down, but never mind that. Advance the football a little bit and punt it away.
Stallworth is back in there. They had a first down at the San Francisco 37. Now they find themselves at their own 32. Here's Malone on a draw, giving that ball off to Frank Pollard. Pollard comes straight ahead, angles to the left over the 40, up to the 43-yard line. So what you want to do is get 8 or 10 of that yards back before you set up the punt. And as Myron told you earlier, when you get around to punt returners, Dana McLemore is the man for San Francisco. 128 yards and on 13 returns coming into this ball game. Craig Colquitt standing at his own 30-yard line. His punt will carry left to right. Snap to Colquitt, and Colquitt sends a wobbly spiral downfield, backing up McLemore, takes it at his own 8, and then is tackled by Rick Woods as he crosses the 10, brought down at the 12-yard line. Good job by Woods covering that one after a 48-yard punt by Colquitt. We have a timeout in the ball game with the score Pittsburgh 10, San Francisco 7. You're listening to Steelers football on Mutual.
Home improvement decisions are never easy.
John, Marcia just told me she got a hot tub. I want one.
Nah, leaves me cold. I want my fireplace.
At Pittsburgh National, we can't help you decide what to do, but we can help you decide the best way to finance it.
Oh?
We have loans from $800 to $50,000. You can get an installment loan or something more flexible like a line of credit loan that lets you borrow what you need when you need it again and again.
To spread things out.
Exactly. And our line of credit loans let you write yourself a loan simply by writing a check.
That's easy.
We even have a line of credit loans specifically for big improvements like a new addition.
Gee, how will we know which way to go?
Your Pittsburgh National banker will help you feel more comfortable about choosing the right home improvement loan.
You know, nothing's more comfortable than a hot tub, John.
I want my fireplace.
Oh,
Come on, who wants to get wet to get warm? That's crazy.
Pittsburgh National. We're a bank that believes in performance, an equal opportunity lender.
Well, the Steelers at least used up a lot of time. Only 5:51 now remaining in the third period, and they've pinned the 49ers down at their 12-yard line.
As is pointed out to us, the 49ers have scored only 6 points in the third quarter all year. Here is Montana back. Montana being pursued, gets rid of the football on the far side of the field to Craig at the 12, and he's brought down immediately. Fine pursuit on Montana that time, coming from Mike Merriweather. Roger Craig stopped at the 12-yard line. Montana was under siege himself that time, so there was no gain. He gets it back to the line of scrimmage on the pass.
Merriweather chased him clear back down to the goal line there. Tom Leslie, our producer, says this is the big series. If the Steelers can hold them, look out. But they don't call Montana the comeback kid for nothing, Leslie. Bear that in mind.
Slot man to the right side, split backs behind Montana. And here comes the man in motion right to left, and they hand the ball off. Carried by Wendell Tyler to the left side. He is belted at the 13-yard line by Gary Dunn. So Dunn comes over to make the defensive play. And that's a lot of range. for the big nose tackle.
And little Sam Washington did a terrific job of stripping the interference, stripping the blockers. He just threw himself down on the ground underneath those guys, and down they went like 10 pins. So it's 3rd down and 9 for the 49ers.
4 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Steelers switching defensive players. 3 men down up front. Keith Gary is back in the ball game. Here's Montana with a play fake back there and drilling one downfield. Hits his man. That's Clark at the 29. And they gang tackle Dwight Clark. Clark at the 29, but he has a 1st down. That is the problem. So the big guy coming off the line of scrimmage from the left side, angling into the middle, takes the ball, and immediately he is hit by Woodruff and Lambert, among others, and that will be a 1st down.
Well, he just dropped into the middle of that deep zone, and nobody near him. At least nobody close enough to make any kind of a run at that football. So Montana pulls them out of the hole and takes the 49ers out to their 30-yard line.
Joe Montana with a wingback set on the right side. Earl Cooper. He's back in motion to the left. Montana pitching the ball back. And here comes Craig driving hard up the left side to 35, to 40, to 45, to 50, and knocked out of bounds on the near side of the field by Mike Merriweather, along with Donnie Shell at the Pittsburgh 49-yard line. Hardest run of the afternoon for Craig.
And he outran the safety man, Eric Williams, turned on a burst of speed, outran him to the sideline and picked up 19 yards on the play, make that 21 yards on the play.
Well, through 6 games, the Niners had outscored their opponents 114 to 38 in the 1st half. And they also had scored first in 4 of the 6 wins. Pittsburgh scored first today and held on to the lead throughout the afternoon so far. 10-7. We're in the 3rd period. 3:35 remaining. Montana is back. And here he is scampering downfield, running laterally at the Pittsburgh 45 to the near side, out of bounds at the Pittsburgh 38-yard line. Montana felt it out of bounds. The crowd is reacting.
Well, Earl Cooper, the tight end, doubled back and creamed Robin Cole after the play had ended. Creamed him out of bounds, and Cole didn't like it and got up and gave Cooper a shove. But the 49ers have a 1st down at the 38-yard line of the Steelers.
Montana gets out of trouble perhaps as good as any quarterback in the game today, and he has the ability to scramble with the ball, also to buy time when it comes to passing. He does a terrific job in that respect. So here he has moved them to the Steelers' 38-yard line. Montana brings his man in motion on a kick, hands that ball off to Tyler, and Tyler comes off the left side and is nailed at the 33-yard line.
So the 49ers
Donnie Shell
continue to try the right side of the Steeler defense with their ground game.
All right, now out on the field comes Carl Monroe, and he'll give Wendell Tyler a blow. Monroe in his 2nd year from Utah.
Some final scores: the Eagles have beaten the Indianapolis Colts 16-7, and the Kansas City Chiefs have whipped San Diego 31-13.
Mike Wilson flanks right. 2 tight ends. Now they bring the man in motion. That is Monroe out to the left. Here is Montana being chased, and he throws under pressure, gets rid of it downfield, incomplete. Well, coming on the blitz that time, Donnie Shell along with Mike Merriweather, and they pursued Montana all the way back inside his own 45-yard line. He still almost got the ball downfield to Monroe. It came in a little low and fell incomplete.
And Merriweather had not blitzed from the word go. Shell had, and when Shell started chasing Montana the way back downfield, Merriweather said, "Whoops, that looks like fun," and he joined the chase. So Montana got rid of the football. 3rd down and 6. Make it 5. 3rd and 5.
And we come to another big play. They deploy Mike Wilson to the right. Bring the ever-present Dwight Clark to the left. Split backs, sending Monroe in motion to the right side. And Montana very quickly to Clark. Takes it at the 25 and is hit immediately by Sam Washington and goes down at the 25-yard line for a 1st down. Quick slant in. Clark takes it. Now Clark is limping. He's coming off the field. Tyler is coming back in, and John Frank is back out there. So it is a 1st down.
Montana now 15 for 21 for 161 yards.
Last two receptions have been by Clark. Wilson sets up out to the right. Wingback is in a close slot on the left side. Single running back behind Montana. Montana starts to drop, and the whistles blow. Edmund Nelson and Bubba Paris mixing it up briefly. Too much time, San Francisco, and that will cost the Giants 5 yards.
And the Giants trailing 10-7, but driving. The official attendance, 59,110. So about 2,000 no-shows in this stadium, which holds roughly 61,000. 10-7, the Steelers. But the Steelers giving ground now, and the 49ers, with that penalty, face 1st and 15 at the Steelers' 30-yard line.
Two ends tight. Flanker close on the left side. Wide split in the running backs. Man in motion to the right now, and the handoff to Wendell Tyler with blockers over the right side across the 30, and worms his way down to the 25-yard line. Wendell Tyler upended by Eric Williams and Mike Merriweather at the 25-yard line, and
I'll tell you, Tyler had a huge hole to travel through, but Merriweather caught him from behind. Had he not caught him from behind, Tyler might have picked up some real sizable yardage. As it was, he picked up 5 at 2nd and 10.
Here comes Clark back. Frank comes out. They split a man right and flank a man left. And Montana with a play fake, rolling to the right, keeping 25, 20, down inside the 20 to the 15, and on to the 13-yard line. Montana gave him a little misdirection, took off himself. Brian Hinkle made the tackle. So Joe Montana gives you the versatility we talked about. They'll spot the ball at the 14-yard line. First down 10 for San Francisco.
Well, he had sent Dwight Clark down into the right corner of the end zone. Clark had taken safety man Eric Williams with him, and that left the left side of the Steeler defense. Well, there was nobody there, so Joe scrambles and goes, and he's down to the 13.
Clock reads 27 seconds to play in the third quarter. San Francisco driving right to left at the Steelers' 14-yard line. Montana with a little kick sends the man in motion. He's back to throw, looking. He gets out of there. They had him, then they didn't have him. Now he fires it out to the left, and it is dropped by Roger Craig. That was a safety valve maneuver. I thought they had him. He came out of there with the ball, running to the left. He spotted Craig all alone out at the 15, threw the ball to him. He did not hold it.
Well, Mike Merriweather was not blitzing, but then he decided to come up the middle, and how he got through there to threaten Montana, I'll never know, but he ran through several people and put the heat on Montana, who then, of course, tried to throw the flat pass to get rid of the football and possibly make something. We pause for station identification. This is the Mutual Steelers Radio Network.
Thousands of dollars in cash and prizes on your football fortune station, 1250 WTAE Pittsburgh.
Second down, 10 yards to go at the Steelers' 14-yard line. Montana fires short down to the 10-yard line, taken by Craig. Craig is belted once by Keith Gary. Knocks him back a little bit. He is hit again by Donnie Shell along with Eric Williams. And they will mark the ball at about the 12-yard line. He was down on one knee when he caught it. San Francisco has the ball at the end of the third quarter with a score 10-7 in favor of Pittsburgh. Now this for AT&T Information and Motorcraft.
AT&T Information Systems presents The Big Decision.
Before we begin our meeting, let's give a happy hello to our new man, Ferguson.
Hello, Ferguson.
Hello. Now, what's first on the agenda, Miss Butterman?
Sir, we're having some problems with the phone.
Uh-oh. Should we call the line people or the equipment people?
Well, that's what we have to decide, sir.
If we're wrong, it could be an unnecessary service charge, right?
Right.
So, who here wants to make the decision? All right, then, I guess there's only one fair way to do this, Miss Butterman.
Yes, sir.
That's 1 potato whip.
1 potato.
2 potato.
3 potato.
4.
5 potato.
6 potato.
7 potato.
Ferguson?
More?
It's your decision, Ferguson. Do we call about the line or the equipment?
You mean this company doesn't have Service Plus from AT&T?
What?
Well, for a small fee, Service Plus coordinates both your business phone and phone line needs.
Like a range service?
Well, expansion, anything. You just make one call to AT&T Small Business Connection, 1-800-247-7000.
Sounds like we should get Service Plus from AT&T, but this is an important decision and we shouldn't make it lightly. Miss Butterman?
Yes, sir.
Let's number 9 it.
Engine.
Number 9.
Writing down.
Call 1-800-247-7000. AT&T Information Systems, when you've got to be right.
In response to all the claims made about competitive spark plugs, consider this. The extended tip spark plug from Motorcraft.
With David Woodley having suffered a concussion last Sunday, his second concussion of the year, Mark Malone, inexperienced though he has, started this game, took the Steelers 78 yards to a touchdown on the opening drive, the opening possession. Now the 49ers, down 3 points, are rallying. They're at the 13, 3rd and 9.
Two tight ends. Flanker right now, man in motion, coming to the right side. That is Clark. Montana dropping back 5 yards, firing for the end zone, and it's broken up by Donnie Shell. It was intended for Mike Wilson, running toward the post in the end zone. Shell came across to make the play, put a hand on the ball, slap it down to the turf, and the 49ers will go for a possible 3 with Ray Wersching out on the field.
3 Steeler defenders in the end zone. Good pass coverage. Donnie Shell making an important play. So the 49ers will try to tie it up with the field goal.
Spot of the hold is the 20-yard line, a 30-yard attempt. Montana holding. Randy Cross, the snapper. Ball is down, and the kick by Wersching is good. 30-yard field goal by Wersching ties up the ball game at 10-10. We have a timeout of this for Gulf Oil.
Gulf, everything we do makes...
Well, when the Steelers were drubbed by Miami last Sunday, many people said, well, they're just a 500 ball club. And indeed, they appeared to be pretty much that for the rest of the way. But I did offer the comment that it was up to them, the balance of this season, to improve enough, because they are a very young team, that they can claim a place among the better football teams in the league. Today they have played well. They are deadlocked with the 49ers, 10-10 here in the early seconds of the fourth quarter. That drive by the 49ers, 76 yards, 14 plays.
Here comes the kickoff. Spencer at the goal line, coming out over the 5, the 10, swings right at the 15, looks for running room, crosses the 20, and goes down at the 21-yard line on the far side of the field. Todd Spencer returning the kickoff for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and a lot of 49ers over there to get him, headed up by Earl Cooper. Now with the score 10-10, there's a timeout. This for GMAC and Harts Mountain.
All right, the Steelers will put the ball in play at their 21-yard line. Let's see if they can stay away from penalties, the kind of penalties that butchered them in the third quarter. Malone was in the same kind of a spot that he'd been in when he came in for David Woodley last week against Miami. His own team was killing him. So here go the Steelers, just beyond their 20-yard line.
And in baseball, the Padres have rallied to tie the Tigers 3-3 after 4 full innings. Mark Malone just outside his own 20-yard line. Hand off to Pollard. Pollard over the left side. Makes a little cut back and brings it to the 24-yard line. Frankie Pollard on the move to the left side, and a slight cut at the line of scrimmage that time. And a lot of San Francisco 49ers down there to meet him and bring him down.
Little delay, an inside handoff, and Pollard runs hard for a decent gain.
So it's going to be second down and about 6 yards to go. Mike Webster goes over the football. We're in the final period, 14:04 to go. Pittsburgh 10, San Francisco 10. Steelers in the eye with a slot man to the left side, working from the near hash mark. And the give is to Ehrenberg, and Ehrenberg plows through there. Well, he was doing very well. He got up to the 28, and that was when he met Keena Turner. And Turner just had shoulder right into the smaller guy and stopped him right there.
Well, you can see what the Steelers are doing here. They're playing conservatively. Malone has thrown only 2 passes in this half. He has thrown only 12 in the entire ball game. His stats are good percentage-wise. He's 8 for 12. That's hitting 2 out of 3. But the Steelers are staying on the ground, and they're not taking chances with Malone, who has started prior to today only 2 ball games in his career.
All right, now they got the 2 tight ends, short yardage offense, 3rd down and 2. And the give is to Pollard, and Pollard hesitated momentarily, put his head down, came over the left side, and I think he has it at the 31-yard line. a little trouble that time getting the personnel changed, but they got it. And Pollard picks up the first down. It's number 16 for the Steelers. We show San Francisco with 15.
Frankie Pollard wanted to go up the middle, but there was a lot of traffic there, and very shrewdly he spotted just enough running room a little bit to his left, and he took it. First down.
Pollard and Ehrenberg are the running backs. And Malone, himself a native Californian, played at Arizona State. Drops back. Wanted to go deep. Throws the interception at the 39. And here they come. Keena Turner with the ball down to the 20. Malone pumped once. Then I'm not sure why he decided to unload the ball, and he threw it directly to Keena Turner, who brings the ball down to the 20-yard line.
And Malone, I believe, is down on the play. He was hit from behind just as he threw that pass, which may explain why he threw it to Keena Turner. There was no Steeler in the vicinity, but as we look at the replay, we see him struck as he got rid of the football. So maybe he wanted his tight end, Kolodziejski, who was about 5 yards downfield beyond Keena Turner, but Turner intercepts the ball easily and brings it to the Steelers' 20. Now, who is that down?
Ray Snell is hurt.
All right, it's not Malone.
No, Malone just laid there for a while in disgust, I think, and then got up and went off the field.
And that is the first interception he's thrown today. And probably going to be awfully costly. Sort of reminded you of Cliff Stout's toss to Lester Hayes in the playoff game last year when it was as easy as duck soup picking off the ball. Snell being helped off the field, treating his ankle gingerly.
Turner getting his first interception of the season.
And have you ever wondered why he is named Keena?
No, I never gave it a bit of thought.
It's not fascinating, but it was the name of an Indian child on a television movie that his mother saw. She liked the name. She named her kid Keena. All right, here go the 49ers.
That is his 4th career interception. And the handoff right down the middle. And the ball being carried by Roger Craig down to the 16-yard line. So Roger is at the Pittsburgh 16, where he runs into Robin Cole.
And what the Steelers obviously can use here is a big turnover. But they have been hard to come by today. They've intercepted Montana not once, and San Francisco has fumbled the ball only once, but Craig recovered his own fumble on that play. 2nd and 6.
Fred Quillen goes over the football. Paris, Ayers, Quillen, Cross, and Kennedy. That's the way they've played all afternoon in the interior line. Montana wants a timeout. So we have a timeout in the ball game with 11:45 to go. The score is 10-10. You're listening to Steelers football on Mutual.
Well, the Steelers' offensive line had done a good job of protecting Malone in the first half, but not quite so good in this second half. And the result is that interception by Keena Turner. And so the 49ers at the Steelers' 16, 2nd down and 6. And doggone, if the Steelers could pull an upset here today, they'd open their lead to 3 games over the Bengals and the Browns in the AFC Central.
Cole and Lambert are the inside linebackers right now. It is 2nd down and 6. And the give is to Tyler. Tyler swings out around the left side to the 10 and goes down to the 7. The penetrator that time.
Craig Bingham.
Was that Bingham that just missed him?
Just missed him in the backfield. And then Sam Washington missed the tackle as well. So the ball is carried down to the 7-yard line.
Mark the ball at the 7. So Bingham came firing through there. Almost had him.
First down at the 7.
Well, the defense has not been overworked this afternoon as it was last Sunday, so now it gets the challenge. It's a big one. Pitch back. Ball that fired into the end zone, incomplete. All right, they put Derek Harmon in there, the rookie from Cornell. And on the halfback option to the right, Montana pitched him the ball, and he throws the ball into the end zone. San Francisco is registering a beef, and it may have been that Russ Francis was held up. He threw to nobody.
Well, if Francis was supposed to be there, he sure did not get there because there wasn't a man in the end zone. And the ball was thrown deep in the end zone. You would think that Harmon would have said, whoops, nobody there. I think I'll run with that football.
Back out to the 7-yard line, 2nd down and 7.
And indeed, around the 1-yard line, Francis had been cut down by Eric Williams.
Slot man to the right side. Montana sends a man in motion to the right. Here's Montana handing it off. And driving over the left side, Tyler is down the goal line, into the end zone. Touchdown. Wendell Tyler, who has not fumbled today, leaves a string of people out behind him as he drives down into the end zone on the dead ball. Well, after the play, there is a scuffle down there, and a flag is thrown. And I believe that's Donnie Shell that was mixed up with 2 or 3 of the 49ers. And San Francisco has the TD.
Eric Williams had a chance to stop Tyler short of the goal line and went for the ball at the same time, but Tyler hung on to the football and spun away from Eric Williams into the end zone.
Sportsmanlike conduct, offense and defense after the play, disregarded.
So the call is unsportsmanlike conduct against both teams, so it doesn't matter. The 49ers go out in front for the first time in this football game. They lead the Steelers 16-10, and Wersching will kick the extra point.
At the post to the right, and the holder is Montana. The ball is down. The kick is up. It is good. And the score is 17-10 in favor of the 49ers. Timeout on the field. You're listening to Steelers football on Mutual.
When it comes to personal computers, there's a new name in town. A new way of saving, selecting, and getting the best service and support. It's called Frederick Computer Products. For Pittsburgh, buying a personal computer will never be the same again. So you can get to know us. We're having a store-wide Get Acquainted sale that shows you what buying at Frederick is all about. No one even comes close to matching Frederick's low price on popular IBM.
Well, I think, Jack, that one reason Wendell Tyler is not fumbling the football is that with the 49ers here, he is not running those cutbacks against the grain as he did with the Los Angeles Rams, where he was heading directly into traffic coming the other way. And that is a punishing way to play football. But in any event, he wouldn't let Eric Williams take the ball away from him down at the goal line, and he got in for the touchdown. So now with 10:48 remaining and the Steelers trailing by 7, they'll have to, I suppose, be a little less conservative and start putting that football in the air.
Penalty of 5 yards for illegal procedure, and San Francisco kicks it off from the 40, yard deep in the end zone. Spencer with the ball out over the 5, the 10, the 15, and to the 17-yard line. It is difficult for me to see any way that Spencer could give you the range or the return mastery that Ehrenberg did. So it is very tough to give him up, although he's needed as a running back.
But say this for Spencer, he runs tough with those kickoffs, and he gets decent yardage. He's not by any means a below par kickoff return man, or at least hasn't been to date.
All right, the Steelers lining up and splitting the backs behind Malone. He's at his own 17, and Malone pumps out to the right, now trying to come back to the left, and he's snowed under. He fired the pass, which was blocked, incomplete. And the man that got in there was Mike Carter, nose tackle from SMU, a rookie, 281 pounds.
Oh, I mean, he landed right in Malone's face as Malone threw that football, and it never went past Carter. So they're putting the heat on Malone now. Now we've got a conference down there on the ball field as the referee, Pat Haggerty, speaks to the 49ers. Going to be a penalty coming up, perhaps.
Since the Steelers got down to where they had a 1st and 10 at the 49er 37, they have been besieged by penalties and mistakes of one sort or another. Suddenly they came in a wave. against the offense. This is going to be half the distance.
Holding, number 62, offense.
So Twin-Chilkin, that's the second time today I believe he's been called for holding. Is that right, Jack?
Yes. It's going to make it first down and 18 at the 8.5-yard line.
Ilkin working against Dwayne Board most of the time today.
Hand off, taken by Ehrenberg, sweeping right, and loses his footing, but still makes his cut. Bounces upfield at the 15 to 20. I think he crossed them up there as he went down. They slowed up on the play, thought he was down. He kept going, and he came all the way to the 23-yard line. Now, pulling on that play was Blake Wingle, doing a good job for him. And as the youngster from Colgate lost his footing and apparently was going down, they eased off of him, so he came all the way to the 24-yard line. 15-yard gain, second down and 3.
Well, he stumbled without even being hit, and he used his left hand to prevent himself from falling, and he hit the turf with that left hand, regained his balance, and made a nice pickup.
And the defense eased off of him at that point, and he took advantage of it. Flanker right, split end to the left. And Malone handing off, and right up the middle comes Frankie Pollard over the 30 to the 35 to the 37. So there is still life in the offense, and if they can get it moving, not moving, if they can, it will move if they can get it operating and functioning as it did earlier in the ball game without the mistakes. They can move this football. They showed that earlier in this half. Then finally got eaten alive by the mistakes, and then finally the interception that gave San Francisco the go-ahead touchdown.
Frankie Pollard taking Dwight Hicks 5 yards with him on that play. Strong running by Frankie Pollard.
Wayne Capers to the right, John Stallworth to the left. Chris Kolodziejski is the tight end in a strong right formation. Weak side set and a give to Pollard, and Pollard finds his way straight ahead to the 40-yard line. He'll get about 3 yards out of that play, second down and 7. Clock is ticked down to 9:30 to play. San Francisco leading 17 to 10.
And Mark Malone throwing only 14 times in this football game. So will the Steelers keep punching it out on the ground here? They've got pretty good field position for throwing the football now out at their own 40-yard line.
Milt McCall and Jim Fonhorst come in. Todd Shell and Gary Johnson go off the field for the Niners. It is second down and 7 at the 40-yard line. Flanker right, split end left for the Steelers. They move right to left. Out of the weak side set, here goes Ehrenberg in motion out to the right. Malone is back, firing, and it is caught at the San Francisco 49-yard line. The hit was put on the receiver, Wayne Capers, by Ronnie Lott. But Capers held onto the football, moves the sticks, first down Pittsburgh.
Nice catch by Capers because the guy was all over him. Good protection for Mark Malone on this play. And I think I said he'd thrown 14 times in this game. That officially was his 14th throw. He is 9 for 14.
Capers' first catch of the day, and he has 6 on the season.
Ball's at the 49 of the Friscos.
Here's the pitch back, and the ball carried by Pollard to the left side. Trying to cut back, he's in a crowd. And caught at the 47-yard line of San Francisco. So Pollard ran that time into the crowd. And the tackle made by Milt McCall with others.
Frankie a little slow to get up there, but he's okay. He's taking a pounding today. He's carried that ball heavy duty. Fact of the matter is he's carried 20 times for 91 yards.
Pollard off the field. Anthony Corley comes on. Capers sets up to the right. He's the flanker. Split to the left. The near side is Stallworth. And the give is to Ehrenberg, and Ehrenberg trying to get outside of the right. He just puts a move on the defensive man. Goes over the 40 to the 38. What a move he gave Ronnie Lott. Got by him and got enough yardage for the first down.
Oh, that was sweet. He gave Ronnie Lott the zig and the zag. You betcha. He's made those sticks. They'll measure, but I do believe he's made it.
They may have to measure. Maybe he didn't. That is not a good strong placement, but as I said earlier, we got the advantage very quickly in the ball game on the placement. This one may be inches short. Ehrenberg, a nifty move that time. First down, Pittsburgh. Number 19 in the ball game.
So Rich Ehrenberg has made 2 big runs on this drive, and of course the first one got the Steelers out of a deep hole. They are at the 39-yard line of the 49ers with 7:23 remaining in the game and the clock ticking. The 49ers lead 17-10.
Capers to the right. Stallworth to the left to the near side. Pollard is back in the backfield. And Malone handing it off to Ehrenberg. Ehrenberg slashing over the left side. He's down to the 35-yard line. And the tackle is credited to Ricky Ellison, inside linebacker from USC.
Good hard trap blocking by the Steelers on that play. You betcha they were splattering 49ers. Nice pickup on first down, a solid 4 yards.
So they're back to the 49ers 35-yard line as they move right to left. The field is still in sunshine. Shadow creeping out from the stands at the end of the field to our right. Again, Capers to the right and Stallworth to the left to the near side. Defenders giving them a little ground. And here is Malone trying to hit Stallworth, and Stallworth reaching for the ball, almost had it, not quite. Stallworth was being blanketed pretty well that time by Eric Wright, and still he had managed to come back around Wright and get his hands on the ball, but it was a juggling football. Now, if he holds it there at the 22, and he had the defender to contend with, if he holds it, he can break away and go. But it was not to be too much. I was going to say too much interference, but that's not what I meant.
Well, the Steelers, who had rushed for only 103 yards a game this season, have rushed for 159 yards so far. 3rd and 5 of
Garrett is in the ball game.
3rd and 6 make it.
It's 3rd down and 6 yards to go. The wing back to the left side, and Pollard is the single setback. And they give us to Pollard. He's got room to run down to the 30, and he goes for the 29. Did he get it? I don't know whether it's the vantage point in this very fine stadium. It's a good stadium for football or what it is, but you look down there from this spot so many times today. It's easy to see from up above, and it looks like they could break it right out of there.
I think he's got it. He had Bories out in front of him in a huge hole, and Frankie was a little too tentative there. He should have turned on the juice.
That's what I meant. It looked like if he makes a cut and turns it on, he was gone.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not gone, but for a good sizable gain. But I think he got the first down. Oh, my. Oh, my. Inches to go.
4th and inches.
Missed it by a hair. All right, 4th down. Well,
sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you.
The Steelers, of course, are going for it at the 29-yard line of the 49ers. They have been running the ball very well. The best they've run it this year, I do believe. And so why not?
Niners are going to stack it up. Heavy up front. And Malone on a sneak. And Malone should have it.
But not by much. Ooh.
All he had to do was move forward about 2 inches.
He wasn't able to get his body forward, so he stuck his head in there and poked around.
It's at the 29-yard line, and that will be the first down. They're going to bring the sticks in for a measurement. On the far side of the field. So it's a critical point for the Steelers with 5:54 remaining. By half the length of the football. It's a first down.
He got it. All right. At the 29-yard line. This is a little like watching a Jock Sutherland team, is it not, Fleming? Grinding it out.
I'm not old enough to remember, Myron.
Grinding it out.
I'll leave that up to you, the history. Here's Ehrenberg to the right. 2 men to the left. Single setback is Pollard. And Malone at the 49ers' 29-yard line. Malone is back. Firing. And it is caught downfield by Kolodziejski. Takes it at the 12, over the 10, and down to the 7. Kolodziejski, heavily covered on the play, had taken the linebacker with him. Jim Fawnhorse caught it. And he is down at the 7-yard line. That will be a first down.
And Milt McCall was covering Kolodziejski and perhaps even interfering with him, but Kolodziejski somehow made the catch anyhow. Now, we got a Steeler down on the play, a Steeler injured, but
That's
it was
Kolodziejski.
It is Kolodziejski?
At the 7-yard line.
He got belted, as we see on the replay. 2 men hit him. But he has come through, the rookie from Wyoming has.
5:24 to go. The score, San Francisco 17, Pittsburgh 10. A timeout. This for GMAC and Budweiser.
Some things seem hard, but once you know the secret, they're easy. To some, financing a new car seems...
Kolodziejski is being helped off the field. That is the left leg.
And he's the only Steeler linebacker. You know, Benny Cunningham was dropped to injured reserve. Darren Nelson is on IR. Weegee Thompson, the backup tight end.
Now Steve August is in there. He will take over that position. Let's see how they work it.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, he's playing a tackle. A strong left. No, they're using two men wide, one on each side. Here's Pollard looking for running room and can't find it, down to the 6. They absolutely used no tight end that time. We pause for station identification on the Mutual Steelers radio network.
Your Pitt and Steelers football station, 1250 WTAE Pittsburgh.
Well, the Steelers' offensive line got off the football well, but Pollard was not able to make much yardage. Picked up little more than a yard.
Garrity goes to the right. Stallworth in the slot. Back to the left is Weegee. And the handoff to Pollard. Pollard is trapped, still running along the 6-yard line, brought down. And the tackle is made by Dwayne Board.
Well, Blake Wingo was not able to clear away for the ball carrier with good 49er pursuit on the play, so the Steelers stuck at the 6-yard line, 3rd down.
Wayne Capers comes back out with the play, replacing Weegee Thompson.
Well, I guess you got to throw now.
Malone lines them up. Wingback set on the left side. Malone drops back, pumps once, now going to the end zone, and Capers had lost his footing, could not reach the ball, and the pass is incomplete. Capers making his cut. Lost his footing just a bit and could not reach the football in the end zone.
Well, what do you do here? You got 3 minutes and 36 seconds remaining. The Steelers are down by 7. And they are answering the question. They are going to go for the big 6. They're not going to take the field goal.
Here they come now, setting Capers to the right as a flanker, splitting Garrity to the right, Stallworth to the left, Ehrenberg on the left wing, and Malone pumping, looking for Stallworth. He has an opportunity to run with it. He doesn't. He fires for the end zone, broken up at the goal line, going for Stallworth, and a flag down.
You betcha.
Penalty marker goes down. Interference called against Eric Wright, who was trying to cover the incomparable Stallworth crossing over at the goal line. Malone had room to run, but again, we're a mile high above it. But he went for Stallworth, and Wright could not handle it. He interfered. First down, goal to go at the 1.
Yes, Eric Wright with his left hand interfered with Stallworth, had it around Stall's back and tried to reach in with the right hand to break up the pass. He broke it up, but he committed interference. So the ball is at the 1, and Eric Wright has had his hands full with John Stallworth today. You betcha. Stall in there with how many catches? Well, I've lost track now, but I think about 6 catches.
Would you believe 5?
5, okay, and that is not a catch, by the way. If officially that's not a catch, an interference play does not count as a catch or a throw. It's just a penalty. Eric Wright, a forlorn figure.
Get a timeout, Myron, and Mark Malone will talk it over with Charlie Noll and the staff with the score. 17-10 Niners. There's a timeout. This for Honda and Goodyear Auto Service.
When Honda designed the new Civic, see the two of you. It handles the road right, so it's fun to drive. In fact, with so much right about the new Civic CRX HF, you can't go wrong.
If you feel you didn't get a fair shake at the last place that serviced your car, or didn't get your car fixed so that it stayed fixed, come over to Goodyear. We won't waste your time, and we won't waste your money. We'll just give you the best car service you've ever had, and we'll guarantee it in writing. Call or stop by your Goodyear Auto Service Center today for complete car care. We'll take good care of your car because we want Goodyear to be your auto service center for good.
Eric Wright is one very good cornerback, but twice today he's committed interference trying to deal with John Stallworth. So on his second occasion, the ball is at the 1-yard line of the 49ers. The Steelers with the first down. Now, of course, I don't know whether I ought to leave the booth. I got a long way to go, but you're liable to be here in an overtime.
Hilken, Snell in that line. Webster. Wingle and August. Two ends tight. Flanker right at the 1-yard line. First down and goal to go. Malone brings Pollard in motion. Flag on the play as Ehrenberg goes into the end zone. Penalty marker down. Illegal procedure, Pittsburgh. They'll take it right back to the 6.
Blake Wingle left ahead of the count. Doggone it. 4 downs to get it in from the 1. And the Steelers draw the flag. Oh, it's murder. So the ball comes back to the 6-yard line.
Here are shock troops coming on. Gary Johnson coming out. Dwayne Board returning. And Eric Wright back out. So they will change from their goal line back to a more standard defense. And the ball is at the 6. First down and goal to go from the 6. I'd like to see Malone roll and go as Montana did.
He's had that right side open.
Now the man in motion to the left, Pollard. Fake to Ehrenberg. Firing for the end zone. Stallworth on a leaping catch in the end zone. Takes it away from him. Right up in the air over the head of Ronnie Lott for the touchdown. Nice fake by Malone. And then firing sharply to Stallworth, and he had the defender behind him, goes up in the air, makes the patented Stallworth catch.
Oh,
what a touchdown.
What a sweet catch. In fact, you had to wonder how Stall could see the ball with Lott so close to him, but Stall had his eye on that ball all the way. A great catch near the end of the end zone, way back deep in the end zone, and the Steelers are now going to tie up this football game, presumably with Anderson's extra point.
Wait a minute, hold on, we got to kick it first.
I said presumably.
Polk with the holder. Anderson kicks it, and it is good. It is 17-17 with 3:21 to go. You're listening to Steelers football on Mutual.
Home improvement decisions are never easy.
John, Marcia just told me she got a hot tub. I want one.
Nah, leaves me cold. I want my fireplace.
At Pittsburgh National, we can't help you decide what to do, but we can help you decide the best way to finance it.
Oh?
We have loans from $800 to $50,000. You can get an installment loan or something more flexible like a line of credit loan that lets you borrow what you need when you need it again and again.
To spread things out.
Exactly. And our line of credit loans let you write yourself a loan simply by writing a check.
That's easy.
We even have a line of credit loan specifically for big improvements like a new addition.
Gee, how will we know which way to go?
Your Pittsburgh National banker will help you feel more comfortable about choosing the right home improvement loan.
You know, nothing's more comfortable than a hot tub, John.
I want my fireplace.
Oh, hot
Come on, who wants to get wet to get warm? That's crazy.
Pittsburgh National. We're a bank that believes in performance, an equal opportunity lender.
John Stallworth has caught the pass. Point added, and the ball game has been tied up. Now let's see if we can move that chair up a little bit and get me 2 monitors over there, Tom. Myron is headed downstairs, and here is the kickoff. And down the far side, Harmon way back in the end zone, and the Niners will put it in play at the 20-yard line. So it's going to be bombs away right about now. When Tony Bennett sang that song about San Francisco, he was not singing from the stadium out here. He would have been gritting his teeth. So we got a call on the kickoff. We're going to bring it back. And the Steelers will be penalized for being offside. They went 83 yards in 15 plays to tie up the ball game. And the ball is back at the 30-yard line. Gary Anderson will do it again. He got too many men on the field. Now they got 11. Here is Anderson. Kicks it off. And it comes down to Harmon at the 4, out over the 10, the 15, the 20. Hit at the 25, missed, and then he goes down. Seabaugh got his hands on him first. He's down there usually as the first man and slowed him down, and Greg Garrity brought him down. Derek Harmon on the return. So they get it all the way to the 29-yard line, about a 9-yard advantage on that situation. 3:03 to play in the ball game, and Montana, a masterful quarterback at the control, 71 yards away from a touchdown, but actually he'll be looking for field goal range if he can find it. Montana's back. Montana unloads the ball out to the right, and he finds Roger Craig, who comes up over the 35, the 40, and onto the 45. Montana was in trouble under the rush that time. Woodruff and Shell make the stop. He unloaded the ball out to Craig. And we go back to what I said earlier in the ball game, and he has the ability to get out of trouble. And he did at that time when the Pittsburgh rush, which has not been able to get to him today, apparently was going to give him a problem. And he simply unloaded it to Craig, and Craig gets his 6th catch of the afternoon. First down for San Francisco. Handoff given to Tyler. Tyler breaks over the left side. Eric Williams pulls him down. Penalty markers go down. Eric Williams made the tackle. Robin Cole might have been held on the play. Let's see. It was apparently involving, we're going to guess here, Bubba Paris and Robin Cole. So that nullifies that run. And they come back to the San Francisco 44. Clock showing 2:15 to go.
Holding, number 56, offense, still first down.
Given instead to Fred Quillen. First down and 20 yards to go. We approach the 2-minute warning. 17-17. Out of the huddle, Dwight Clark lines up to the right. They send Mike Wilson off to the left. It's got Bill Ring in the ball game, a former Steeler. Montana goes back. Montana firing out to the far side. Picked off over there by Hinkle. He comes down to 45. He's to the 30, the 25. Hinkle is to 15, the 10, the 5, all the way down the sideline to the San Francisco 4-yard line. As Montana went to the far side, Brian Hinkle reached up into the air with one hand, pulled the ball in. And we get down to the 2:03 mark, and Hinkle comes up with the interception. Let's watch it. Montana looks to his right, back to his left, and he's going over to the far side of the field, and Hinkle right up in front of the intended receiver, Bill Ring, who had come out of the backfield, pulls it in, stumbles, and with Sam Washington leading the way, heads down the sideline, cuts a little bit to the left, goes around 2 men, then falls over someone and goes down at the 3-yard line. Now, what do you think about that? Hinkle's 2nd interception of the year. The first turnover San Francisco has had in the ball game. 2:03 remaining to play. Isn't it beautiful? Now let's see what we can do with it. Here we are back inside that 5-yard line again. 2 tight ends, flanker right, Stallworth, sending Pollard in motion, handing it off to Ehrenberg. Zilch. They were ready and waiting. Ehrenberg could rather bell himself into a brick wall and try to get through there. So we have the 2-minute warning on the field and timeout. The score's tied 17-17. The Steelers at the San Francisco 3. You're listening to Steelers football on Mutual. Hi, this is Jack Fleming. Here's your chance to join the Steelers on a road trip. Just register in Arby's On the Road Sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. We're awarding trips for 4 to Steeler away games in San Francisco, New Orleans, and Los Angeles. Prize package includes hotel, meal plan, and car rental. Compliments of the Monroeville Marriott. Airfare by Eastern, where they earn their wings every day. Game tickets and more. Find entry blanks and details.
1250 WTAE, Pennsylvania's Information and Sports Authority.
San Francisco had played flawless football from a turnover standpoint. It had one fumble. That could have been a vital fumble early in the ball game when Roger Craig coughed it up down deep in Niner territory, but he managed to cover it himself. Now comes this vital pass interception. The Steelers have had one interception by Turner, but what a play that was by Hinkle. That one will go in the highlights film. Up in the air with one hand. The ball is at the 3-yard line. It is 2nd down and 3. 2 minutes to go. Malone sends Pollard in motion. Pitches the ball to Ehrenberg. Ehrenberg trying to drive off the left side. He's stacked up at the 3-yard line. Now the penalty marker is down on the play. Well, not enough time went off. That was only 4 seconds on that one. 1:56.
We have a false start before the play was started. 62.
False start before the play. Conshoka. Now that means that you get the play over again. There's no option on it. It's going to be a 5-yard mark off back to the 7-yard line. As long as you've got your kicker here and you've got faith in him, a kicker like Anderson at this range, you wouldn't expect him to miss it. So I've got to think you'd prefer to get in for the touchdown, but possibly the biggest item. Now they put the clock back at 2 again because the play was nullified. Your biggest item would be to run off as much time as you can and get the kick, if indeed you have to take the kick. But the ball is at the 8. What you want primarily is the touchdown. It is 2nd down and 8, but you've got to be peeking out of the corner of your eye at the possibilities down the road, just a few steps. Abercrombie and Corley are in the backfield. Corley, the rookie from Nevada Reno, they're in the I formation. Flanker right, split end left. And Malone to Abercrombie, and Abercrombie hits right into the crowd of people and takes it down near the 5. Now see, the clock will turn unless San Francisco, now they're going to use one. They only had 2 left, so they've used one of them. So they've either got to use them now, they got to spend them now, or after they get the ball back. Well, Steelers football on the Mutual Steelers Network is brought to you in part today by GMAC, the financing people from General Motors. By Honda, makers of the new Civic CRX HF. By Gulf Oil. At Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you. By Budweiser, the king of beers. Reach for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Motorcraft, quality parts for all makes of cars and trucks. Motorcraft exceeds the need. Tactical situation. The ball is at the 6-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. It is 3rd down and goal to go. 1:52 remaining on the clock. The Steelers got here after they had managed to complete the drive and score on the pass to Stallworth, then kicked off the ball to San Francisco. And Montana, just after a 10-yard penalty for holding, fired a pass out to the far side of the field to Brian Hinkle. The right outside linebacker for the Steelers picked off with one hand and brought down to the 3-yard line. Here is Malone. Faking, rolling left. Malone's being pursued, and he is caught and brought down at the 5-yard line. Well, Malone tried to do what Montana had done successfully, but he could not cross up Keena Turner, and Turner was there to block his way. So here comes Gary Anderson, and the ball is at the 4.5-yard line, so Anderson will have the problem in his hands. The 49ers have called timeout to stop the clock. They've used up all of their timeouts. 17-17 with 1:45 to go. Mike Carter comes off the field. Dwight Hicks is coming back out. Well, I saw a great football game yesterday in Morgantown. Now another great one here this afternoon. This has been a good one. I was talking with one of the reporters about that at halftime, one of the Pittsburgh area reporters. You just seen a first half that had been played almost flawlessly by both teams up to that point. Steelers got into a string in the third quarter where they couldn't do anything right, making mistakes, but then they came back from that. Okay, Colquitt holding at the 12. For Gary Anderson. Snap. Anderson kicks, and it is good. A 22-yard field goal by Gary Anderson. And doing a little dance coming off the field down there is Keith Willis. A 22-yard field goal gives the lead back to Pittsburgh at 20-17. That comes with 1:42 remaining to play. If I can ever round up the notes on this one when it's all over, that will be a small miracle. Now let's see what is going to happen as they give the ball back to the Niners on the kickoff. Very shortly we will announce the player of the game, who will be presented a handsome plaque by Anheuser-Busch and the Mutual Broadcasting System. That'll be difficult. Very difficult indeed. But we'll give it a try. Down deep for San Francisco, Carl Monroe, who will play to the right of the kicker to the far side, and Derek Harmon to the near side. You don't want to break down at this point. And a couple of dangerous returners down there. Anderson right to left. Gary Anderson sends it low trajectory, squibbing it light down inside the 5 from the 4, out with the ball. Here comes Monroe up over the 15, the 20, to the 25, and they bring him down at about the 26-yard line. Well, Chris Brown covered him, but it looked as though he may have gotten the impetus to fall on that play from Elton Beals. And the ball is at the 25.5-yard line. First down 10, and the crowd is alive. 1:36. Montana at his own 25 with a single running back. 4 men wide. Montana's back there. They're after him. Have they got him? He throws under pressure, and it is caught down on the ground over at the 39-yard line. Now there's Montana again, down on his knees. Hinkle was trying to zero in on the interception, could not get there quickly enough. Montana is back again. Montana firing softly out into the right flat, and the pass is taken by Earl Cooper, brought down at the 42-yard line with a tackle made by Mike Merriweather. That was a 5-yard gain. Second down and 5 with 55 seconds. Niners have no timeouts. Pace throws into the left flat, and the ball is caught by Cooper, and Cooper runs to the sideline and stops the clock at the Steelers' 49. The play made by Brian Hinkle, 46 seconds. And Montana using that clock with the deftness of a Bobby Lane. The ball is at the Steelers' 49-yard line. 46 seconds remaining. And San Francisco now playing for the possibility of tying up the ball game. Or maybe he'll cross you up and go deep. You can't be sure. Montana back again. They need to get to him, and they haven't been able to. Here's the ball caught on the near side, but it's going to be incomplete. It is not a completed pass. Is it? Can't be. Caught by Mike Wilson. Caught by Ronaldo Nehemiah. That's the first time that they've gone to him today. He'd been in just briefly early in the ball game, and he landed out of bounds. Nehemiah, Skeeter from Maryland. So they got the flyer in there. They got 2 to the right and 1 to the left. And Montana, ever dangerous, throwing short, completing the pass to Craig at the 46. He scrambles his way to the 44, is tackled by Jack Lambert. Now they line up. It is 3rd down and 5 at the 44-yard line. And Montana with a short drop lets it fly to the far side. And here is Clark spinning to the sideline and toppled out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Donnie Shell makes the... That's not Clark, it's Cooper. So Cooper makes the catch at the far side. And the ball is at the 31-yard line. So now they're in a position where they can do something. To the Steelers' 32. And Montana letting it fly on the far side of the field. Cooper again. And Cooper goes down to the 20-yard line. Stops the clock with 10 seconds, and here comes their kicking team. So it is not over. Just when you think you will get out of there, you don't. Boy, did he use Cooper on this drive. So he has a 1st down and 10 to go at the 20. He's got 10 seconds on the clock. And it will be from the 27, a 37-yard attempt. The ball is down, and the kick is no good. Wersching misses the kick. It is off to the left of the post. Montana kneels in agony. Montana brings them down the field in a magnificent drive. Wersching has what should be a chip shot from the 27-yard line, a 37-yard kick, and Wersching misses. And with 7 seconds on the clock, the ball goes. Can you believe this? Wersching misses the field goal. This has not been San Francisco's day. The 49ers came out here and just simply met a team that came here to play football. We pause for station identification on the Mutual Steelers radio network.
More than just a radio station. 1250 WTAE, Pittsburgh.
So this is not the same team that played the Miami Dolphins. Here is Malone kneeling with the football, and that is going to run the clock out. This will be the upset of the day. There is no question about it. The 49ers, undefeated in 6 games. The 49ers heavily favored over the Pittsburgh.